StreamYard-Studio. Stream quiz, skip us, edit, awesomes, cancel button, restart button, pause button, end stream button.
Awesome sauce. Hello, everyone. This is Awesome Sauce Radio. I'm your mentally undeveloped party host. We should be moving his chair another inch back, so maybe you see my full face. I don't know. What do you expect from a blind guy miracles? This is Awesome Sauce Radio. Remember, you don't need sight to have a vision. It's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. Remember, the streets are paved with gold. Go chase your dreams. You just might catch them. Tonight, we have an amazing guest. He's the detective of the comic book community. Investigating all sorts of drama and conspiracies and, just telling it like it is all the time on his channel. An amazing human being. Thuro Montana, keeping up Thuro. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, you already know, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to my man Adam. Thank you for having me on. I don't know if I call myself amazing. I think that's, I always leave it, I try to stay as humble as possible. I'm just a regular average human being, who just pretty much says it how it is. It might sit right with some and doesn't sit right with a lot. So that's how I look at it. But I appreciate the kind words regardless, man. I appreciate it.
Like I said, I tell everyone, just like, don't, take like 50% of what comes out of my mouth or my ass, because that's where I talk half the time.
Yeah.
With a grain of salt, because I like to just, I come from a stand-up comedian background and just a clown background, so I over-exaggerate every now and then.
Definitely, man. So how's everything on your end? First off, man, how you been?
I've been doing all right, man. Just getting over being sick. My mom brought home something from my brother's house from the kids, because the kids go to those germ factories we call schools.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
And it's ever since Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas, every few weeks, it's just been bouncing around the entire house.
Damn. Oh man, it's hitting everybody right now, man. I got two little girls of my own that, listen, they're germ factories, bro. And as much as I try to follow everything I possibly can to try to stay, in the healthy range of things and not catch any, it's impossible.
It's just as soon as I hear that, one of my nieces or my nephew has strep throat, and I know my mom's going to babysit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what I'm getting.
the gift that keeps on giving, man.
Exactly. So, but like I said, I just try to be as comfortable as possible and as safe as possible with staying healthy. But it is what it is sometimes.
Nah, definitely. And man, listen, I gotta start off by saying thank you, first off, for extending an invite to me, having me on here, on your show. I really appreciate that. I always have to, tip my hat off to you, for a lot of the stuff that you do, and for a lot of the conversations that we've had behind the scenes, as good friends, I really, truly appreciate it, because it just goes to show that, sometimes we need those conversations. We need to have these little conversations that people don't know. Everybody goes through struggles every single day in life. But at the same time, and I'm real happy that you could trust in me and confide in me to be able to share, your stories, to be able to come to me and say, hey, bro, I just want to have a conversation, and I'm down for those. You know what I mean? So honestly, I really appreciate that. It's fun, bro.
With everything that you do behind the scenes, with being a husband and a father, and all the other stuff that you do, I appreciate that. You're generous with your time to put aside a little bit of time to even have those conversations.
Definitely, bro. I appreciate it.
Very thankful to have you to have you as a friend. I love the channel.
Thank you, bro.
It's kept in the last, especially in the last week, and for next week when I was still quarantining a little bit.
Yeah.
It's kept me very entertained. I mean, you got some clown shoes on there. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you got Red Hood, Mama.
Freaking good old Red Hood, man.
Since you messed up my catchphrase on your show, I think I returned the favor. Love that guy. You got Bankies.
Yeah, Binky's. He joins me here and there. Usually Binky's is whenever there's some epic nation drama, that's when Binky's is on there. Anything having to deal with whatnot. Whatnot has its own problems. There's a lot of, it just goes to show you how many issues there is with collectibles. But at the same time,
the only fans of the collectibles market.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's turning into, bro.
Now, actually, at least with OnlyFans, you know what you're getting, and there's some class. Whatnot, it's been a total dumpster fire lately.
It just shows you, man. There's a lot of issues. The only thing is that I always pray and hope that it doesn't discourage people from wanting to collect. It's the thing is, I feel like even if you do come out telling the truth about a lot of things, it's almost like people are like, can you please stop talking about that? I'm tired of the negativity. It's not really negativity, because if there's something wrong with a product you're using, if there's something that you're paying for and using your hard-earned money, you have every right to speak up about it and be vocal. A lot of people sometimes sometimes a lot of people want it to stop because nobody wants to, they don't want to admit to the truth. They don't like the truth. It's either because they're sellers on Whatnot, or people grade their books through CGC. People don't want to hear that stuff because they have, an investment. That terrible word I hate to freaking use.
So I want to ask you this, because I've heard you say this a lot in the last, I'm going to say maybe 2 months. Mm-hmm. What made you change the word investment to gamble? Like, what was the one thing in the market that said, okay, this is no longer an investment. This is like putting your money in a slot machine.
Yeah. So I've always looked at that. You know what I mean? Like, I always looked at this, anything with any collectible as being a gamble. I got tired of people using the words like blue chip investment because they make it sound great. They make it sound to everybody out there. When you listen to those words, everybody pretty much starts to think like, suit and tie, we're all business. That's what this is. Yes. Is comic book collecting, is collectibles period of business? Of course, 100%. But you also have your snake oil salesmen, your deceivers, all that stuff that comes along with the journey. They're there. So you really can't call it an investment when you're being sold on something. And next thing you know, you're freaking buying into it. And what I feel bad for is when people like myself, I don't make millions of dollars, I make enough to take care of myself, my family, have a roof over our heads. But at the same time, it's like you watch people who are out there who are struggling. They want to get into this. They have a love for this. And then they're being sold on something that they believe is an investment. But in reality, it never has been an investment. It has always been a gamble. You just never know. Freaking collectibles are super volatile. It's not like the stock market.
Always have been, always will be.
Exactly. The stock market is, like I dabble with the stock market. I told people I do day trading. I do, I get into that. That I don't ever give people any advice on, because I don't want people to come back to me and say, oh yeah, well, this stock went to shit to this, that. No, that's why I do my homework on that. I day trade. I do all that stuff all day long. And pretty much what I try to do is I try to buy into things that I know from my own personal experience, from my education in it, that I get into. The same thing with comic books. I used to listen to a lot of these folks. Like I said, you used to have a nice little setup in the background, CGC slabs, and they'll start talking about, graded comics being the greatest thing on earth. I used to be against it because of things that personally happened.
Since day one that graded comic books are nothing more than the crack cocaine of the industry.
Yeah.
You change. No, people hate when I use this analogy, but I'm just like, hey, cocaine on its own, all right, is it bad for you? Yes. But once you add all the extra ingredients, aka a slab, then you totally change the game.
No, exactly, man. And I just take it as it is. It's like I tell people, it's not me trying to discourage anybody from doing it. Like I told people, you're a human being, right? You could do whatever your heart pleases, whatever your heart desires. There's things that I could be like, hey, Adam, I don't agree with you on this. Adam, I completely agree with you on that, and that's how life is. But
Yeah, but
people
at the end
want
of
you
the
to.
day, we can hang out and have.
Uh,
And
but
I'm sure
people,
there's things that you see when you see me say stuff in your chat, you're just like, here he goes again.
yeah, and people that's the thing though. People can't people can't go through life without feeling like you have to follow what they say or you have to believe their opinion and things like that. I don't live like that. I was like, if people enjoy what I say or people freaking like what I'm doing on my channel, then so be it. I appreciate you guys a ton. And for the people that don't like it, I appreciate you guys too, because you have every right not to like it. There is going to be times that I'm going to say something that folks might not like, but I live with that. I'm the one that I've grown. I'm 40 years old. I've told a lot of people it's taken me until now to finally realize that you honestly can't give a fuck about what people think about you. The more you freaking give a fuck about what people think about you, you're going to be living in a life full of stress. You're going to be dwelling on absolutely everything. And for me, I don't want to live life like that, bro. I'd rather stay, so put my feet firmly on the ground and tell people, I'll tell people all day long, like how much God plays a major part in my life, whether you believe in God or not. That's never going to stop me from talking about God to people. It's the same thing how I believe how the market is going as far as comic books, and I'll stick to my guns with it because that is the reality of things. The market is not freaking doing great. The market is freaking pummeled, it's getting pummeled right now because it's like the 90s, and very well just as much as I do.
Funny that you say the 90s because the last time I've seen the market like this was 1996.
Exactly, and you remember it was
mid 96, early 97, and
it was the pump and dump effect back then too. They were pumping. What were all these creators from Image? Remember the Fab Five from Image? What were they doing? They were pumping absolutely everything, making themselves seem like rock stars. They sold everybody on that illusion. And now what are people doing? People on YouTube come on and they sell people on that illusion. And now people sit on that and everybody's like, holy crap, like this guy looks so enthusiastic. They look so educated in collectibles.
This guy likes to suck a bunch of lollies and good to. And next thing you know, he's and my partner in crime will be on a little bit was actually at the show and they actually used his box. Doing their shenanigans.
Yeah.
You got wannabe only fan models. Hey Melinda, how you doing? Doing these badly drawn teddy books.
Yeah. And those things sell, man. I can't,
I'm not gonna deny it.
Yeah, those things sell. Ass and titties sell, bro. That's a known fact right there.
But they're just so hard. Some of them are just so horribly done.
Oh, of course, yeah. Don't get me wrong with that. Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, it's like I said, what do you do? You got the simps out there. They're so gullible. They want to freaking fall into the fact that like, oh my God, I get to see some cleavage. I get to see a nipple. I get to see this. And they're all for it. They want it.
But I'm the bad guy. I give them like great cosplay material on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
On other platforms, which I won't mention. PH, OS.
There you go.
Stuff. But it's okay for like Melinda to put out her titty books drawn by every B-level artist on the planet. But I send her an email saying let's collaborate on a variant. No, you're not safe for work. You're too not safe for work for us to work with.
Nah, that's like the easy cop out. I just honestly believe that she's probably denying you access to the table because she's sort of seeing like, well, are you really bringing anything to the table? You know what I mean?
I'm bringing plenty to. So she wouldn't want one of the like a real cosplay with say Maitland Ward. Google it because I have all access to that. On one of her books. She wouldn't want like let's say I have I'm friends with the head of the AVN magazine.
Nice.
I have contacts and everything that her market is allegedly supposed to be, but no. I have Golden Apple Comics. I said, you guys be interested in sponsoring the podcast? No, we're a family-run company. And what do? They 2 weeks later, I see that they have a peach mocha variant for Cherry Comics #1. Cherry Comics.
Oh, which one? The cherry Pop Tart?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm the fucking bad guy. So I don't get it sometimes. With this
Again,
stuff.
you got to look at it this way. It's if you fit the mold, then you're good enough. You see what I'm saying? So I've trust me, I've seen it, I've heard it, where people will be like, "Oh, we're family oriented, we're this or that," but then all of a sudden you start to freaking laugh because they'll come out with something like that, and I was like, I thought you were family oriented.
Oh yeah, I went to email back. I said, I actually. And just to be an ass, I sent them, I think it was my email with either Seth Gamble, who just wanted AVN like the week after I saw that the variant came out.
Yeah.
Now, someone who's big in the adult film industry, and I was like, and then with a link to their variant, I go, I thought you were a family-friendly company. What's the difference between Cherry Pop-Tart and this?
Yeah.
Never got an email back.
Of course, because now you just caught them red-handed. It's it happens with everybody. It's like you'll say one thing and and next thing you know, like I said, they're against the grain, literally, and that for me bothers me a lot because I've seen it in comic book collecting, I've seen it in toy collecting, I've seen it in the sneaker avenue because I love collecting sneakers. I've seen it absolutely everywhere. Where there's a lot of folks that'll start off being like, I hate slabs, I hate variants, and now over the course of time, you see, and what are they doing? They're doing variants, exclusives. They're freaking promoting CGC left and right. And do you think I'm gonna have respect for that? Honestly, no, man. I get it. People are like, money. Listen, money is wonderful. Money is great. Money helps me pay for my daughter to go to private school. Money helps me to freaking make sure that my kids are fed. Money makes sure that I have a roof over my head, that I have my heat on. It's a wonderful fucking thing. But there are also freaking ways to make your money without having to sell your soul to the devil, if you catch my drift.
Oh, exactly.
And a lot of people do it. And again, to each their own, man. It's like I said, my characteristics, my being as a whole is completely different than everybody else's. I don't follow suit. I'm not a follower. I'm always putting myself in that leadership position. So this is the same thing that I try to put out there to my folks, to the Savage Army. You got to do your own thing. Do things for yourself. Don't worry about like what I say or what I do. You guys got to freaking come up with your own decisions. You guys, we're all adults. We're not children. And that's what I try to put out. That's the big message, that you got to freaking do it. And if you're gonna do something, you're gonna say that you're about something, do it. Don't freaking hold back, man. Don't allow anybody to ever discourage you from ever doing what the hell you want to do.
Exactly. And that's why one day I'll have a brothel in Queens.
That'll probably be easy for you to get, bro. You don't even have to look too hard for that.
Because I've been here. Because how did you be the channel that started saying chickas?
Yeah, because that's what. So the reason. So here's a story about that. So I used to frequent freaking Roosevelt Avenue over there because I used to go to Junction Boulevard and all that area. So I don't know if you're familiar.
Is that where they have all the fake merch over in Queens?
Nah, they do, but they also had the legit shops. You know what I mean? Like you had the legit stores that have sneakers. So I always used to frequent there with my brothers a lot. And you always had the one little Spanish guy on the block who would come up to you and give you a business card, and he'd always be saying chickas. And we'd always used to laugh because I was like, I'm not freaking doing that crap. I'm not going to go and do anything with the hell no. And you used to get the card and they used to have like freaking naked chicks on there. Or even one of the girls that they were actually
in New York all of a sudden.
Yeah, man. It was like, so I used to laugh at that crap, and that's where I got that freaking saying chickas, because that's what the guys used to come out and be like chickas. and handing out. So once I started seeing what's going on at Roosevelt right now, I was like, I'm not surprised with that. You know how long that's been going on there? It's just freaking. It's become the red light district now. That's how bad. I mean, at 6 in the morning,
it's pretty much taken over Hunts Point at this point.
Dude, at 6 in the morning, it's like they're already ready to go. They're out there. They're outside. So I don't know how it is right now because you could probably turn into a damn popsicle if they're outside right now.
Not in this weather. They ain't going strong.
But even then, man, you'd be surprised. Like they go, like they hone their craft. Like I say that.
Yeah, I don't understand why at this point why New York City just doesn't as a city just be like, you know what? Why don't we just legalize it and bring in the Vegas system and just, at this point, just legitimize everything 110%. But
dude, I'm sure at some point or another that's probably gonna end up happening. 100%.
Because not, like I said, I'm always hearing about legitimate businesses bitching that it's becoming more and more of a pain in the ass, and I'm just like, go to Nevada. They've had a way to settle that to it, or at least minimize it to some degree.
Nah, of course. So I gotta ask you a question though.
Go for it.
I got a question for you. How you feeling? Because I know you're all about the adult industry and everything like that.
Yeah.
How do you feel right now? Because I think that was it this week. I haven't been to the comic shop. Was it this week where Penthouse or what was it? Penthouse or Hustler dropped?
Penthouse Comics #1. It may have been last week. I did not get any of those yet.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that making a comeback now?
You know what? I hope it does well. I mean, there is a market for that kind of material. Once again, where you're gonna get real guts inside your covers and not just a bullshit cover. And if the story is good, I really hope that it does well. I don't have a problem with it.
Because the reason why I ask is because I was sort of like speculating on it. So I was speculating on it in reference to how I found it funny that how out of nowhere they just started to come out with it again. And I feel like it has something to do with Whatnot. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think it's because they see so much success in all the ass and titty books that are being sold on Whatnot that they decided to come back out with it and was like, oh damn, they're making bank. So let's go ahead. We didn't know that, a comic book based on anything, adult nature was gonna be such a success that I honestly think that Whatnot drove Penthouse Comics to come out of retirement and freaking come back out.
Well, I also think it's there. There was that series, Faithless, that did really well.
Yeah.
There was Red Light District, which was pretty decent. There's been a couple other, more, erotic type comic book series over the years. I think they just started doing well, but
yeah, there was a lot. There was another one too.
I'll give the Duchess the devil her due. This is probably one of the only times I'll say something nice about Melinda Young. If anyone can confirm that she does have an OnlyFans of paying a bounty. Because she claims she doesn't.
I don't know. I don't look.
Like I said, she just really irked me a few times over the last year, but that's fine. There's an old parable saying, "Beware of the monster that you will create." Because it's lit a fire under my ass lately.
You gotta let it go, bro. You gotta let it go. That's gonna be the best way for you to live.
I'm gonna let it go, but it has fueled my creative fires for a project coming up.
I wouldn't. That's the thing. That's the thing that I say about like, don't let anybody piss in your Cheerios. Is because it's for that reason. You can't let anybody change like what's going on with you, like what you're deciding to do and things like that. It's for that reason.
That wasn't the reason, but it just it was after she said, but you're too not safe for work for me. I was like, okay, then I'll just continue what I'm doing. Thank you.
See my boy Big Lion Cat 646 is in the chat, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Lion? Thank you for supporting the show.
He's talking about the chickas. He said they ride the 7 train. Exactly.
Ride the 7 train. All right, thank you.
Damn, man.
I'm taking the wrong train because I'm going up to the wrong part of town half the time. That's my problem.
Damn.
So you're a fan of Batman, right?
Yes, sir. Big time, man. That's my hands down. Even though like on the Marvel ended store, freaking Batman is like for me is the ultimate. And besides Shazam, because I'm a big fan of Shazam.
I love Shazam myself. But what do you think of the Chip Zdarsky Batman run right now? If you're reading it,
Dude, it's been up and down, man. I tried to enjoy it, and at the same time, it's like it got enjoyable when he first started. Then midway, it was like it just went to shits, and I was like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" And then now it's like coming back. Now it's making its way back again. Where I was like, "Okay, cool." And it seems to be something that's common with comic books, though. You hit these highs, then it hits the lows when it's like it's almost like people start losing interest because the damn Batman books comes out every week, or however it is.
Sometimes 3 books a week.
Yeah, exactly, and it becomes overwhelming. I honestly think that they need to dial down on it. They need to go ahead and start, making just one single Batman title. I don't think you need all this.
I would allow 2, but just let's get back to quality because I liked his first arc with Failsafe.
Yeah,
that Gotham War was complete and total trash.
That was, dude, that was a complete disappointment. And now I'm starting to like wonder that I feel like writers can write something of quality when it comes to Catwoman and Batman, bro. Honestly, because look at the last run was The Wedding.
That was the last, actually.
And look what happened with that.
Well, that was editorial. I heard people at the corporate level of Time Warner didn't want Batman. Amazon, stop. Warner Brothers corporate didn't want Batman and Catwoman married, and that's what forced a lot of that to change.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, but at the same time, I was like, man, that was such. It was such a waste, bro. Like I was like, yo, they destroyed those. What could potentially be such a solid storyline, and it was like it seems like it kind of rode the wave from that point to this point, and yeah, that whole freaking Gotham War, gang war, whatever the hell it was called. That's how forgetful it became to me that I was like, I could really care less, and I didn't even want to continue reading it, but. My gullible self, I was like, oh, maybe it's gonna get better. Maybe it's gonna get better.
Maybe it's gonna get. Maybe the next hit will be better, and then it's just like
exactly.
I got to the end of it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
And I kind of wish they finally end this Zara and R thing too.
Oh, dude, man, let me tell you, bro. I feel like. There's so much that they could be doing, but again, it's almost starts to seem like they could care less as long as they pump something out and they put something out there for people to have, material wise. They've come down to the point where in comic books, as long as they have a good artist and they put quality variants, like that's all that really matters to collectors. Like nobody's really caring.
Because there are some good series out there. It's starting to feel like a lot of it. Have you read Ultimate Spider-Man 1 yet?
No, I didn't, man. Everybody's talking about it. I'm going to try to read it tonight.
It is one of the best Spider-Man books, I'm going to say the last 5 to 10 years.
Really? That's what I've been hearing from a lot of people. A lot of people have been saying how how amazing it's been, and I'm looking forward, to be honest with you, to read it. I really, what held me off from reading it was Hickman. Freaking that dude drives me insane. So Hickman freaking did he started off redoing the Ultimate series and things like that, reintroducing the Ultimate Universe.
Like middle of the road for me.
Yeah, and it was, man, that was complete trash. It was complete trash. And I'm a huge Ultimate Universe fan, bro. And that was just complete freaking trash what he came out with. So I wasn't expecting anything great with this Spider-Man series. So I was just more like, whatever. I could care less. I'll get to it when I get to it. But now I'm hearing a lot of people talking great things. I mean, the book is going for $30 freaking.
I've seen it anywhere between $30 to $50, and I was like, holy shit!
That's crazy. I honestly don't think it's gonna hold up. To the people that have been wanting a copy, all I gotta say is, be patient. Yeah, just wait for it because it's
Come on, it's Marvel. There's gonna be a second print. Even though I haven't seen it announced yet, there's gonna be a second print.
Oh yeah, it's getting ready to come out, isn't it? It's supposed to be coming out sometime soon. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, for me, I don't get too caught up. I used to back in the days. Now it's like it's literally a waiting game where I could just sit there and just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait it out. And sure as hell, you wait it out, and then next thing you know, it ends up turning into freaking into $5.
I hope this doesn't turn into shit. I really, really liked what Hickman was doing with this, and it's kind of weird that Ultimate Spider-Man is giving us stuff that mainstream 616 Spider-Man is taking away from us for a very long time.
Yeah. And then to look at it too from this viewpoint, you have the face of Marvel, which is Spider-Man. No matter what anybody wants to say, man. I mean, Spider-Man is the face of freaking Marvel, and
always will be.
Yeah, and has forever had the worst freaking stories that I don't think. What was the last good stuff to have come out was probably in the early 2000s. Everything after that had just become hot trash. So that doesn't surprise me one bit at all, man.
I mean, Civil War, maybe. Back in Black was maybe the last time I really
yeah, but that wasn't a Spider-Man solo though.
Back in Black.
Oh no!
It's a story.
But that was still in the 2000 mark. I love that freaking Back in Black storyline.
When he beat the shit out of the Kingpin in prison, that's one of my favorite moments of modern Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that was still the early 2000s right there.
Just excuse the background noise from my computer. I'm bringing in a partner in crime.
Nah, you're good, brother. Trust me, 100% understand. But yeah, that's what I say about that, man. It's been a while. It's been quite a while since it's been done, man.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, my man?
This is my homie Calamity Collectables. Calamity, thuro Calamity.
Hey, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you.
Good work, Thuro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro.
Thank you for covering all that crazy fucking epic shit. Like,
listen, I just do what people don't want to do half the time. There's people that don't want to freaking talk about certain things. I'm willing to do it. I could care less because like I said, when I know something's wrong, I know wrong is wrong and right is right. You know what I mean?
Amen to that. I was actually at that show when that happened.
Oh, really?
I'm actually one of the vendors there. I was next to the guy who he took the books from.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking dumbass.
Add more to the lore, they used my box. Because I always bring a small short box to buy stuff from. And they had a box to, bring everything back. And it's I didn't see anything wrong with it until, after the fact. It's like, shit. And then I got roasted by a couple people saying, you got to turn yourself in, man.
Well, that's one of the reasons why he didn't want to go back into the venue. I told people he didn't want to go back into the venue because he got caught red-handed. He knew that if he was going to go back in there, he knew that somebody's probably going to close the doors on his ass, and he had no freaking escape.
Yeah, he made Billy bring everything back.
Yeah, and that's why I said I was like, that dude, he's a good con artist, man. I've dealt with people like that in my career.
One of the best.
Now, when I first met that dude, in the back of my mind, I was thinking Windows refund scam. I just didn't want to assume it, and then fuck.
Oh man, that's freaking funny, dude. But that's like I said, a lot of people were like, it's like that whole thing was going on, and now this is going on with CGC, so everybody's like, bro, they're like, yo, you just go from one avenue to the. I was like, listen, there's a lot to talk. I've been talking about CGC for a long time. People did not like what I was saying, and guess what? Right now is my time to ride my damn wave because I was like, I'm like, on that mode of like, I told you so. Like, this is exactly what it is. That's why I stopped grading books. I enjoyed it. I had a great time doing it, but I was like, when, you know, I'm sending my babies away to make sure they're being taken care of, nurtured, everything being put inside a, you know, a well, and then getting freaking the good old plastic seal and everything. I was like, I'm there, like, you know, I would hope you would treat my books, you know, the same way you would want yours treated, so on and so forth. And over time, I was like, man, I'm done with this shit. I was like, they're not really doing anything for my fucking books. So for that, I could slab it myself if I wanted to.
Yeah, and it also kind of made things worse with that guy making the video on how to do it.
Oh, dude, he freaking let me tell you, when Immaculate Comics. So when Immaculate Comics came out there, I gave him all the props in the world. He came out. He showed everybody, was like, hey, this is exactly what, you know, what you could do. This is what's going on. He even tried to prove it with a CBCS slab. People sent it to him. He tried. He freaking cooked the slab. He couldn't even open it. Oh, and wow. That's why I was like, there you go. You have a slab that's tamper proof, and that's something that CGC needs to look into. They need to have something, because who's to say that this is the first time ever that this scam is being perpetrated, or nobody has ever attempted to open up a CGC freaking plastic case and try to put another book inside. Nah, exactly. So I was like, come on, man. You can't say that this is the first rodeo and there's only 350 books. I was like, man, you guys are lying. You're just playing cover up.
I said there's at least double that. And
that's why I'm really hesitant on buying like big key slabs at the moment, unless they're really low grade, where I'm like, you're not really gonna try and tamper like a thruo copy of X-Men 94. I mean, you might, but like, it's more unlikely to happen compared to like doing like a 9.0.
Yeah, like right now, I wouldn't, bro. I would not chance it. I would not take that chance on it, because you just never know what has happened in times past. Yeah. You don't know, like any book that has been graded, are you truly getting what you paid for? You got to look at it this way. If there was problems with freaking pretty much, even it could be 10% of the books within CGC. If there's problems with 10% of the books, and if they had to reimburse people for 10% of the books, bro, that would be impossible for them. They would actually go ahead and try to tell, like, yo, the business is done. We're shutting down. Then we're not going to be able to pay back everybody or reimburse everybody, because you don't know what books have been affected, and it could be books that were worth millions of dollars. So that's how I personally look at it, and that's why I said, I was like, you know what, came and bit them in the ass. They could have prevented all of this. They could have kept up, trying to, come up with better technology as far as sealing your books, but it was more of like, again, quantity over quality.
Yeah,
and that's where we're at now. I also
think that video that Matt Nelson was on the other day didn't help matters much either.
Oh no, yeah, I just talked about that, and a lot. Like I said, props to Dave Vengers and 9.9. Those guys, they did the right thing by trying to get somebody on. People are gonna accuse them and say, hey, they were hitting Matt Nelson with softball questions. The problem wasn't that; it was the ways, Matt Nelson is already prepared for it. He's being taught how to handle these situations, how to be.
That sounds like that interview to me sounded like he sat down with a publicist and rehearsed.
Oh, dude, big time, man! When I watched that whole thing, he comes out with the awards.
Helped him rehearse, taught him how to spin everything to make CGC look like a blonde hair, blue-eyed, big tit, nice thigh, $1,000 an hour girl. When you're really getting a $20 toothless bottom skank tooth hoe.
How many times I keep preaching this to you? You want the Asian hookers on Roosevelt Avenue, man.
We already covered that topic.
We're the gift of the gods.
Yeah, listen, they start. I said I saw a freaking post about that. Somebody was recording on Roosevelt Avenue at 6 a.m. They were out there. And I said, yo, that is the true definition. I left a comment on that post. I was like, that is the true definition of the early bird gets the worm. Because these chicks were out there at 6 in the freaking morning, man. I was like, this is freaking crazy, bro.
Hey,
reminds me of Hunts Point back in the day.
I guarantee that for them to keep up. That they must be on them snow dogs, man.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know, Adam.
Yeah, let me tell you, man. I don't know, man. They're on something else, bro. Yep. They are on something else.
Oh, speaking of Roosevelt Avenue, I'm gonna say this as a public statement on Awesome Sauce Radio. I had Albert from Cosmic Con text me if I'm doing the third Cosmic Con show. I'm gonna say this right. I'm gonna say this right now. I am not doing it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
For 3 reasons. 1, the layout is different, and I did poorly the last show.
Yeah.
2, you banned personal. You brought that motherfucker in the show and banned personal friends of mine. I draw a line at that.
Nah, I got you, man.
And apparently, and the third reason, like, he upped it to, I'm gonna say allegedly because I heard it from other dealer friends of mine. Like, he upped the table to 700, and I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind.
For that venue? For that mall venue?
Yeah. Last show was $550 for 3 days, and even that, like,
I think you don't need 3 days for that show. I think that's overkill.
Nah, that's like a 1-day show.
It's like a 2-day at most if you want to do something special, but
3 days. 3 days. You're talking about being a major con, bro. You're talking about Terrificon. You're talking about New York Comic Con.
You're talking about Fan Expo, XYZ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not freaking Cosmic Con, bro. Like,
it's not like Cosmic Con has the 27-year prestige of Big Apple either.
Yep.
You know, I'm not gonna say the Big Apple's perfect. I've been dealing with them since day one. The promoter, Michael Carbonaro, is my mentor. I took a 13-year-old blind kid, and gave me a place to belong when I needed it back when I was a kid at comic book conventions in the area. Where I learned that you don't need sight to have a vision. So I'm loyal to Mike, but Albert, I'm not doing your show professionally. I may stop by for an hour as an attendee because of because of the Thundercat guest, so I can do some business and then leave.
Mm.
All right. I don't know if that's hypocritical or not. I don't care if it is, but I have an event I'm working on, and I would love to have the Thundercats guests there, so I can talk to them without having to email 90 people on IMDb. And it would be nice to talk to Larry Kenny in person instead of over phone, text, or email for once.
That's nice, man. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But you no longer send him letters through Cocoa Puffs boxes anymore?
Cool for Cocoa Puffs. What do you think of the current convention? What's your take on the current convention scene, sir?
I'm not a fan of it, bro. I stopped going to them. I used to go to them literally every year, New York Comic Con. I used to go to Terrificon back in the days. I used to go to East Coast Comic Con when that existed. That's no longer. And I always used to have a great time. I just, I always felt like instead of progressing and becoming better, and it's like everything just starts to fall back. And this isn't nothing, against the dealers or anything like that, because I know that they got to make their bread to be able to, pay for their tables at the end of the day, and then still walk away with some money in their pockets. But it's like these things are becoming so crazy expensive that, in all honesty, you go to these places and you can't even get a deal. I actually go more to these small local cons than I do all these major cons, because they've become so freaking crazy expensive. You got to pay it to get a ticket to go however many days you need to go to. Then on top of that, you need to put money on the side if you have to go and stay at a hotel. Then you got to go put money to the side to be able to buy things. By the time you're done and you go there, it's like you're looking at something on, at a dealer's table, and they're selling it for freaking 2 times the amount that it's going for on eBay, for example. And it's like, I personally understand it, but at the same time, it's like, why the hell would I even waste my time going there and talking to these folks about comic books and being like, hey, can I get that? No, it's $1,100. But I'm like, man, last sale, and all this right here is $600. And I'm like, but you also understand. And it's like, why would I waste my time then? I'll just go on eBay, look for what I'm looking for, and buy it on there, and then just freaking call it a day, have it delivered to my house. That's the only bad part about it. And then, to be honest with you, I feel like people do better at the smaller cons. You have a lot of folks that go there, and you get more of that interaction effect where everybody's there. You're selling. You have the fans walking in there, and everybody's having a good time. I go in there. I look through boxes. If I find something cool, things that I wanted. Right now I'm on my Looney Tune binge. I've been looking for a lot of Looney Tune comic books.
Nice.
And hence, you see good old Marvin the Martian right here on my, on my hat. But it's like you do all those things, man. I freaking, I have my moments. So I'm like, I don't really need to go to these cons. I feel like I'm just wasting money, man.
I'm cutting back this year. It's mostly because of health and with the CLL and these bigger events take more out of me than they used to at this point. So it's just like, and then by the time it's like I pay for the table, I pay for the hotel, I hire cosplayers and staff. By the time you go for food and I mean, the only thing I do love the Fan Expo circuit a lot, just because you have a chance at certain celebrities you're never going to normally get a chance at sometimes. And now he says, okay, at that point, it's not a comic book show. I'm going there for a fan experience, maybe make some new friends, make some new contacts, and just like chalk certain things up as a loss at the end of the day and be cool with it.
Yeah. Man, and then that's the other thing. Like, I'm looking at AOA. He said, I don't like anyone enough to wait in line. That's how I am, bro. Like, I don't, I don't find any freaking thing that wants to make me, want to go to these cons. The last time I said, I was like, if Dolph Lundgren, for example, were to be at one of the cons, I would go because I would want his autograph on my He-Man comic book. And that's the only freaking reason.
Out of all the crappy Dolph Lundgren movies,
listen, I was a kid, bro. I was young as hell during that time, bro. He-Man I loved, and then I also wanted to have a Punisher comic book signed by him too, because I love that movie.
Toss up for me.
I would love that. I love that.
Which one
movie.
I could find first?
I need to get both. If I'm gonna listen, for me as a kid to get to be able to watch freaking He-Man live action, I was like, yo, I was in heaven. And to now see like all these superhero movies and just looking, watching how all the superhero stuff is starting to tank now. I was like, come on, man. I definitely, that's one of the guys there. And then who else? I started to grow a fond respect for Alan Ritchson, man, the dude that plays Reacher. If you ever checked out the show Reacher, got a huge respect for that guy, man. I've been watching his podcast that he has on YouTube. The guy's all about his family, about his kids and things like that, his wife. And I got a freaking huge respect for the guy. And I would love to freaking have his freaking autograph on one of my comic books.
Like I said, with Dolph Lundgren, I probably did get something Rocky IV because that was the first movie I ever spent my own money on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have really fond memories of Rocky IV and Rocky V.
Nice. Yeah, right. I think Rocky IV.
Everyone says that I'm an idiot for liking Rocky V. I loved it. I loved the street fight at the end for some reason.
With Tommy, the good old Tommy Guns.
Yep. He's like,
that was always a good one.
Down. Why don't you try knocking me down? Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Little Nicky's like, come on, Dad, kick his ass. You gays in my room.
No, man, that's one of the reasons why I would get like Dolph Lundgren and but other than that, I really don't. And then I know the one was because I always had a huge crush on her. I would have loved to meet freaking Danielle Fishel, who played Topanga in Boy Meets World, because I had the hugest crush on her when she was on that show. That was probably to be the only other person I would want to like stand in line and meet. Other than that, I could care less, man. I'd be like, whatever. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, speaking of crazy lines, there's going to be a high chance this year Peach Momoko might not do U.S. shows anymore.
Oh, really?
Is that because of her anxiety?
It's because of what happened at last year at New York Comic Con. People were giving her shit again.
Oh, so she got PTSD now from all the people breaking out in fights now.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like every one of her appearances at a con in America is ended in a fight or some type of backlash.
It's I don't know, man.
Like bodyguard too.
Are these artists even like, yeah, are they even benefiting from attending these cons anymore?
Depends on who it is. Like most of them know. Actually, I did talk to some local artist friends of mine, Keith Williams, Rodney Ramos.
Yeah.
They had a better time with credit card sales
compared
to dealers at the exhibitors hall, because apparently at the exhibitors hall at Javits Center, they put signal dampeners in there because they want you to pay the $300 for internet.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy, dude.
So I will never sell at New York Comic Con. I will go there because I get pro passes every year for the breakfast.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have the mental or physical stamina to do 4 days.
Nah, man. The couple of cons that I did out, in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Those I was like, man, one day I was already like, I don't think I could do this shit for freaking 2-3 days. I was like, I think I already had enough.
Actually, even as just an attendee, but for New York, especially for like New York Comic Con by day 3, I'm just like, okay, I'm done. There was 2 lines to get autographs that killed me last year. One was for the entire cast of the Animaniacs, which I was not missing out on. Especially since I haven't seen Rob Paulson at a con since pre-throat surgery.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then I'm a huge wrestling fan, so they had MJF there with the belt.
Oh, really? That's what's up,
so
man.
I wasn't missing out on that.
Yeah, I'm a huge wrestling fan too, but it's wrestling for me now. It's like it completely changed from what I grew up in the Attitude Era. So the Attitude Era was like nothing was like that ever. I don't think anything's ever gonna touch that.
No. And
ECW, when I used to go to the Elks Lodge, and my dad used to take me to the Elks Lodge back in the days, that I mean was amazing. And then these chicks would be taking their clothes off and everything. And of course, me being a teenager, I was in heaven. Like, yeah, I love this.
Chicka.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I won't do Mama again because I don't want Red Hood to one day like slap me or something.
He's gonna hit you with some copyright.
No, man. He like I said, he can return a message every now and then. It's not like I'm trying to hire him to press some books for me.
The AOA is like, I can't imagine little Thuro watching Boy Meets World. Listen, man, I love that.
I can get you an autograph from the actress that played Rachel.
TGI, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that I know.
I know her. I know her from what she's doing currently more than I do anything else, but
I never thought that chick, I had no idea that was her until I found out, what was it, last year? Last year I had no idea that Maitland Ward was freaking Rachel from Boy Meets World. I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Because I found out because I'm subscribed to all the adult entertainment news, and there was this big article that she did her first scene, and I was like, interesting. It's usually the crossover is the other way around, but she's like the Janet Jameson of this generation right now.
Damn. Man, listen, I saw,
and she's a very down to earth, sweet human being.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
I mean, I had the privilege of talking to her last year at Avians for a little bit. And
that's cool, man.
you know, really, and she's a fangirl.
Oh, really?
We were talking Batman.
Oh, damn, nice.
Yeah, she was showing me, describing to me a couple of the things she, did as cosplay.
Is she going to be playing Batgirl in any upcoming movie?
She may actually one day make her own version of Batgirl.
Yeah, because she got the red hair and everything. She'd be perfect.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think she would do a parody version of it first.
Yeah.
But her dream role in mainstream comic book movies is Poison Ivy.
Yeah, that'd be another good one right there too, man. She could do both.
That's true, and
she could do both.
I just never would picture you as a Topanga guy. That's all.
Oh, me? Oh man, yeah. I love Topanga, bro. Topanga was she was like I think it was probably every teenage boy's freaking like dream girl right there. I was like she was like, when you're younger, you're like, man, she's like the whole package. She's the whole package. Like, I mean, I went through the whole phase of watching her and Corey breaking up, and I was like, yo, now she's available. Like that's how how it was with being a young teenager at the time. But I loved Topanga. I loved her. She was.
What's interesting is most of that cast does the convention circuit now.
Yeah. They do. They also have a podcast.
They probably do. It's like everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah, they have a podcast. I think it's the dude that plays Sean, Eric, and then Danielle Fisher Topanga. They're all three of them are together on the podcast, and they do it.
That's interesting.
They do a podcast. So that's And it's like I look up random shit sometimes too. Like I remember when during that time period too. I remember you guys remember the movie Three Ninjas.
Yep. Amazon stuff.
Man, so I freaking I just happened to come across a video for freaking for people like talking about how like the Three Ninjas cast then versus now, and it was updated for like 2022, and I was like, damn man, none of those kids look nothing like they did back then. I was like, they just look completely different as adults. You wouldn't even be able to recognize any of them. And the same thing with the other day, I was watching one for Surf Ninjas.
Ah, crap! You see, and this is why I'm gonna yell at every one of my brothers in the comic book podcast and YouTube community right now. And you're gonna make me look that movie up later, and I'm gonna wonder what happened. Why I'm not falling asleep to 6 in the morning.
Nah, Surf Ninjas was great for what it was. I mean, you had Leslie Nielsen playing a fucking bad guy. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And Ernie Reyes Jr., man. I mean, the dude's a hell of a martial artist. I mean, I remember watching him for the first time. Never knew that he was a little kid in The Last Dragon. It was like over time as I got older, I was like, holy shit. I was like, it was him. I had no freaking idea.
Yeah. Excuse me. I got background noise in the background.
No, you go, brother. AOA saying Eric from Boy Meets World was back. Yeah. Yep. 100%, man. Yeah, that's how I had him sign a couple of my Batman Beyond #1s. Him and Kevin Conroy.
Oh God, Kevin was such a great guy to hang out with.
Oh, he was he was an awesome dude, man. He was I had my first daughter. She got to meet him, and that was the last time we ever saw him, and that was at East Coast Comic Con.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that East Coast?
Him and George Perez too.
Yeah. George Perez is super nice, man. Like my boy Big Lion Cat, he's here right now. I was laughing at them because they were standing in line. I've already had my times with George Perez. I used to, George Perez didn't even have a line. You could just walk up to him, get your book shit signed, and then during the East Coast Comic Con when he was announcing that he wasn't going to do any more Comic Cons, the freaking line was freaking insane. And I just laughed, bro. I was like, you got to be shitting me, bro.
Oh, I laughed too for a different reason because I had the VIP pass. So I was like third in line for that.
Oh, lucky you, man, because I saw that line. I was like, hey, hell no, and no freaking planet am I going to be standing in line to get George Perez's autograph when I've gotten his autograph on plenty other occasions, man?
There were fist fights on that line.
I wait. That was the one year at any con I waited in a line for a comic book artist longer than I did a celebrity, because with Val Kilmer that year, because I haven't seen Dal in years, and that's when he was starting to go through his battle with the throat cancer.
Yeah, he was, because I remember I saw him there too, and he was really nice. I said hi. I was like, I appreciate what you did, in your Batman movie. And he was real gracious, and you could hardly hear him talk because he ended up having a scarf around his neck and everything.
Yep.
And he was really nice. That was the last time I remember seeing him. And I was just like, it was crazy to see how you seen him throughout his career, and then to see him and honestly just so withered. It was like he was super skinny. He was, he just looked so frail. I was like, man, that's freaking, it sucks just to see anybody like that.
Like I said, the year before that, because my older brother, best friend in the world, Top Hat Tommy, is the photographer for the booth that has all the cars at those events.
Yeah.
The Batmobile and all that.
Yep.
So the year before at East Coast Comic Con, Michelle Nichols was a guest. And we were helping her in and out of the Batmobile. And it was 7 people. The 60, she wanted to get her picture within the 66 Batmobile.
Yeah.
It was it took 7 of us to help her in and out of the Batmobile. It was trying to lift fine China. It was so sad.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, it was maybe... she was still, mentally there, but her physical health was really starting to go by that point.
Yeah, no, I could freaking imagine, man. It sucks to see that, man. And even when I saw Kevin Conroy, because I've met him on plenty of occasions, he was always, I always had to talk to him. He awesome freaking guy. But when I was at East Coast Comic Con, I had a feeling like something was wrong with him.
Same.
And never talked about it, you know what I mean? Because you could see it, dude. He was another one. His face was so freaking thin. He was just super skinny compared to every other time I met him. And I was like, I didn't want to assume anything. And I was like, who knows? Maybe he's on a diet. Maybe he's running. Maybe who the hell knows, But at the same time, I was like, damn. I was like something. And then when he passed away, I was like, freaking lo and behold, I was like, yeah, he was sick for quite some time. But again, man, kudos to him, because he brought so much joy to a lot of us, and on top of that, he continued to go to these cons.
I love doing a little tribute for him in the new Arkham game coming out.
Yep.
Him and Arlene.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Suicide versus Jailer.
A lot of people are upset with that game. I'm still gonna buy it just because they have, they got Kevin Conroy. That was his last one. So
one of my favorite wrestlers is actually, I believe, the voice of King Shark.
Oh, really?
Yes, Samoa Joe.
Huh.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
I didn't know that. I had no idea that he was at all, because I know he played he was on that show. Oh, god damn it, man! What the hell was the?
God damn it! Is that a good show?
The video game show that came out on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
Twisted Metal.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Twisted Metal. Samoa Joe was he was in that. He was in that show. I didn't know it was him.
Why was I thinking Nick Arcade for some reason?
Yeah, Samoa Joe was in Twisted Metal.
I'll have to check it out. I'm a huge.
Yeah, but he didn't use his voice though, because it was what's his name? Will Arnett. Arnett did the voice. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep, and they were just using him as the body to play the clown. I'm like forgetting fucking names here, but that's who they used him for.
Nice. Speaking of shows, what did you think of Echo?
I was not a fan, bro. I was not a fan, and that's me going without. It's like I tell people, I wasn't even gonna watch it. I felt like I wasted my time. I know everybody was like, well, what about? I just call it fan service when when you had Kingpin and you had Daredevil. That's really what it was for me. But as far as Echo as a whole, I think that they could have done a lot better. I think that they could have, like delved into her life when she was younger a lot more than what they did. I feel like they didn't give you enough of that. I feel like they could have done way better than that. But to call that show the best Marvel show ever, I was like, hell no.
Nah, it's not the worst. It's not the
Hell
best.
no.
I do on record saying this as a disabled performer. Someone who's in the filmmaking and acting. I thought at that part it was a great achievement.
Yeah, and then you start to realize why they lowered it down to 5 episodes. They didn't have faith in the show.
No,
they didn't have the fighting. It reminded me of what's his name when freaking Iron Fist, the guy that was from Game of Thrones, whatever his name was. And that dude, when he came out fighting as Iron Fist, they would have to speed up the cameras and everything. That's how I was like feeling with the fights, man. It was like the fights were that bad.
I felt like I was watching a very low budget spin-off version of Sons of Anarchy.
I think that is the best analogy I could have ever heard. I didn't even think of that because I love Sons of Anarchy. I love Mayans. I love all those shows attached to that. But no, you're right, bro. Honestly, it was. It's like a low budget freaking Sons of Anarchy, like a Tubi version of Sons of Anarchy.
No, even Tubi would make better things.
Dude, it was crazy.
Like if those OG pirate sites went legit and made a spin-off version, like if Quicksilver Screen was still a thing.
No, exactly.
To me, it wasn't the best. I said this in the chat last night on your show. I don't know how many more times they're gonna make the Kingpin lose on a show and keep him as a big Thanos style bad.
Then that's my thing.
Kicks his ass. Maya Lopez kicks his ass.
That's what I do. Again, this is the world that we live in now, man. They're converting shows to to make the impossible seem possible, I guess. Or sometimes I start to feel I'm like, did any of you guys ever like check out the source material? Like, did you guys read the
Probably
comics?
Not.
Did you do any? I was like, hell no, they didn't.
That's how I felt about season 2 of What If.
Another one. There were people telling me, oh man, What If season 2 was great. I fucking went into that shit, watched it. Fucking waste. Straight up waste of my time.
You have comic book material. Do that. Do Tom Hiddleston doing What If he had Thor's hammer. That would have been fucking great.
That would have been a great, that'd be a great freaking
There's so much beautiful source material from 2 volumes of What If. And every other episode was a version of MCU material. And then the 3rd episode is the one that, thank God, the itis kicked in and I fell asleep through. They put together a new character. It was boring. It was just like
she's supposed to be coming out in the comics or some shit they were talking about. This is how you know how like these names of these characters don't even resonate with me because I can't even remember her name. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that make me feel like, well, can we just bring back like the 2020 version of New Warriors? Because I feel like that'd be more of an enjoyable read.
Dude, in all honesty, you're not even lying.
Snowflake.
Yep.
You're not even lying, bro.
To be honest, there is an issue of Diamond Previews that has all the preview images of that series in there that I'm actually looking for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just for shits and giggles, because that's the type of stuff I collect, is like weird preview stuff like that.
Yeah.
People are now trying to push the price on the Ultimate Spider-Man preview.
What, that Marvel Previews book?
Not for the 2000s one, but like
the one that just came out
last week.
Yeah, that's fucking. I wouldn't. I don't know.
Not be $40. I'm sorry.
Nah.
No fucking way.
I didn't even bother ordering any because I thought, oh, this is going to be over-ordered. It's going to be in people's dollar boxes down the line. And I'm like, well, shit.
I just couldn't trust Hickman, bro. Hickman, for me, that guy is, he either hits a home run or he just can't bat at all. Like, he can't hit the damn baseball for nothing. And that's how it always is. That's my relationship with freaking Hickman. I feel like he can knock a home run and then just absolutely not a single hit. And that's why I really wasn't, like, too excited to even care about the new Spider-Man series.
I'd rather have Hickman do Spawn covers again because those were fun.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, Jonathan Hickman did a cover. I'm like, well, I'm keeping this.
Is there anything in the current comic book market that makes you just go, why the fuck am I still in this hobby?
Yeah, I got one right fucking now. This bullshit. A 1 in 50 reprint ratio for Secret Wars 1.
Oh my god.
I ordered 50 copies for a totally different reason because I'm gonna wait till the run ends and then sell them as sets.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, they're doing ratio reprints now? I wanted to throw the fucking table. That's how, like,
dude, they're not innovative anymore. That's what drives me fucking nuts. Like, but in all honesty, it goes back to that talk. They are trying to get rid of the direct market. No matter what anybody fucking wants to think, they're trying to get rid of it. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of it. There is no doubt about that.
Oh, here's more bullshit. This. All fucking covers.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I got the foil of that shit because I was just trying to prove a point that what's the point of buying these exclusive foils that are coming out by all these different stores in reference to things like that. I was like, now look at freaking Marvel, look at DC. What are they doing? They're coming out with foils for every book that people were paying $50, $80, $100
for. Foil in the world, put it on
fucking
a boat,
crazy,
and then blow the fucking boat up.
Yeah, I do better
with all these fucking foil comics once and for all.
Dude, I do better with unironically store exclusives.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm just also the fact that I get them at a really good rate, so I can't say no.
So,
at that point, shit.
LCSC and Calamity coming. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, AOA.
Yep.
Now every show I come to, that's if I'm set up there, I'm going to. I always bring the box, and now my box is infamous.
There you go.
Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thuro, is there anything that makes you go, why the fuck am I still in this hobby?
Fucking dude, pretty much everything, man. Honestly, it's not me like trying to discourage people.
No. This is let me preface this by saying this is one of the greatest hobbies in the world.
I love it. Oh yeah, don't get that wrong. Yeah. I love it, man. I love comic books. I just again we're in a time and space right now where it's like nobody just wants to write a fucking comic book and just write it. You know what I mean? Like people more writing it because they're trying to please people. They're trying to fucking do, they're trying to
Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. Try to create a script for the next big Hollywood movie, and it's like it's all a freaking just gigantic misfire, and it's just continuously happening. I would love to say that I love everything that comes out. No, do I still do the common fucking like, okay, I'm gonna buy a cover? Yeah, I do it. There's time where I'm like, you know what, this cover looks good. Is like I'm a huge fucking, for people that have known me, I'm a huge Darkwing Duck fan, and even that shit, I read it and I was like, yo, this has to be the worst shit I could have ever sat down and even given myself the time of day to even fucking try to read.
It's that bad. I still have not gotten into the Darkwing Duck series.
And what do? Even though I hate it, I just buy it because I'm like, yo, there's some dope covers coming out. Negaduck might be in a cover, and I love Negaduck. Other than that, I'm like, I could give two flying rats asses about any of the stories anymore because they're not putting no more efforts into it, bro. They're just again, either they're creating a script for the next big Hollywood movie or show or whatever, or they just don't care because they're trying to drive the direct market out of business. That's honestly how I look at it.
Yeah, this makes me wish I really want Alan Moore to write Little Lulu. If anyone, whoever gets that reference is a fucking god right now.
It took me a second.
Damn.
If you said Baby Watchmen, I would have gotten it right away. But...
Oh, Watchmen Babies. No, that's got to be the next new movie.
Oh, God. Dude, but it just goes to show you, again, you don't, you know, I feel like just people are not in it for the passion anymore. It's more like, I'm going to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
They're paying me to do this and that. That's about it, bro. That is about it.
Unironically, I think the best stories that have come out in like the past 5-6 years is a lot of indie stuff.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. That's usually, I'm not gonna lie, usually all the indie stuff is like, you know, the things that I truly enjoy. Outside of that, for like Marvel and DC, very few, bro. Like I loved Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider was my shit, man, and nobody ever hardly was talking about Ghost Rider. And then on DC, Nightwing. Nightwing has been a phenomenal fucking
Nightwing
story.
is definitely the best book DC has.
Yeah.
That meme cover that came out this week.
Oh God, bro.
I swear, you know, as a retired officer of the law, you can tell me if this is not a threat or not. I swear, I'm gonna take that Nightwing meme book. I'm gonna shove it up your ass the next time I see you, bro. That's I
didn't witness anything. I pretend like I'm not here.
You've been pumping and dumping this stupid Nightwing meme cap book for the last 2 weeks.
Dude, I sold copies of it. It's hilarious. I thought it was like, because I sold out of the World's Finest Nick Cage cover. I'm going to sell the hell out of the Will Shatner cover coming out. And I thought, it's cat meme. I mean, remember the Google meme for the chick walking and she looks at the other guy with what was it like?
Oh, look at yeah.
Like that was like a $25 book for 2 minutes.
How's that book doing anyways? Because that just like completely changed the I mean, especially with the route they decided to freaking make freaking go with Superboy, turning him bisexual and everything. I was like, yo, that didn't last long. That did not last long.
Minutes.
Did not age well, bro.
And what other stupid? Actually, there is a good DC story I read. That new Action 1061, the Bizarro story. I dug it.
I still got to check it out, man, because Jason Aaron is doing freaking Action Comics. So I'm a huge Jason Aaron fan.
Decent. I like the takies. Taking with Bizarro. I also like that he's using Bizarro for the metaphor of why modern comics are so fucked up.
I'm glad, dude. I'm honestly, I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he left from freaking Marvel. I think you got to go on and move on to other freaking, to greener pastures, even though it might not be greener. But you got to move on to something else. I don't think that you could get stuck to the same shit.
I also think at Marvel, Aaron did all he could do there.
Yeah, because even all the stuff that he started to doing was like it was just going downhill. I just felt like his creative juices when it came to Marvel would just that was it. So I'm glad that he left, and I'm glad that he's over here. I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him probably even doing like Batman. I would love to see his take on that. I could sort of see him come out with something.
The main book isn't he doing a miniseries right now?
I don't know. I can't remember what the hell he's taking on. I think he is doing a little miniseries for some odd reason. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, wasn't there some Batman miniseries that Scotty Young did a variant for the Scotty Young story?
Yeah, I think so.
That was what was it? 140?
No, that was yeah. That's the one that Scotty Young did, and then because the other one is what the hell is the Batman series from Raphael Grandpa?
Oh,
Gargoyle Noir, whatever the hell it was called.
No, Gotham Gargoyle.
God, thank you. So that shit, yo, fucking by far some of the best Batman stuff I have read in a long freaking time.
Yeah, like I said, there's for shits and giggles because I picked them up cheap in a back issue bin. I've been reading All-Star Batman and Robin by Frank Miller and Jim Lee.
You better got that recall cover of 10.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying Adam's got like a stack of them.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to get the freaking uncensored, version or whatever the hell it was that they had.
Yeah, I got those. Watching Batgirl curse like a sailor.
Yeah, funny enough, Midtown had them on their website for $1 each.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we just bought back when they were doing when they were
doing their sales that they always do.
Yeah, the 99-cent only sales.
Oh, and then that's speaking of that too. That's another great series that I really don't hear people talking too much about was freaking Mark Waid's World's Finest.
Oh,
that was another fucking awesome fucking series, man.
I had to catch up on that. I liked the first 6 or 7 issues, and then I just stopped reading because way too much stuff comes out in a week.
Yeah. Nah, the World's Finest series was some of the best stuff that I have read, man. Mark Waid was really killing it on that.
Did you read was it House of Zod?
No, I didn't. Did not get a chance to read that, man.
It's a pretty good read.
Is it? I'll check it out, man. I trust a lot of people's takes on on comic books because you don't find too many good quality stories anymore.
No.
Yeah, like I know the other one that a lot of people were recommending to me that I haven't checked out yet was Titans.
The New Titans by Tom Taylor.
Yes, and a lot of people have been speaking highly about it.
Even with the story they're doing, Beastville right now is nice to see a Titans event that feels nice and a nice story to it.
Yep. So that's another one that I got to check out, man. A lot of people have been talking highly about that.
What about Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong?
I don't think it's the greatest writing. I just thought it was fun. I liked it because of that.
I love novelty.
Yeah, exactly.
Monsters beating the shit out of Superman.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people even were questioning. They were like, "Can Godzilla really beat Superman?" And all these different. I was like, man, that's what I found with the book. It was fun, and I'm enjoying it. It's not the greatest writing on earth, but it's a fun book.
I do love the Roar covers for issue 1.
I bought it because of that reason. Has anybody else ever thought of doing that? I always used to say, I was like, yo, I used to open up a card, a Hallmark card, and used to hear this. I was like, when are they going to come out with a comic book? And they caught me off guard because I had no idea till I went to the LCS. I saw them there, and I was like, what the hell is this polybag freaking, Godzilla, King Kong, and all this? And I was like, what the hell? And then it says, the comic roars. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I got to take this. I was like, this is one of a kind. And then when I get to the counter, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, $30. I bought 2 of them. I bought the King Kong and the Godzilla. And I'm like, $30. And they were like, yeah, they're 15 of. I was like, shit. I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. I was like, I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to do horribly with them because of that price tag. And I was like, oh my God. I sold out in a day. I think it also helped because when they came out, the new Godzilla Kong trailer dropped, so everybody lost their minds over that.
And all the hype from Godzilla -1, which I still have to go and say.
Yeah, exactly. And that was such an awesome freaking movie, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
And I'm not the biggest Godzilla mark on the planet.
No, me neither.
If you want to sell me on what's a good starting point with Godzilla, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a huge Godzilla fan like that. Like I like the whole kaiju, element and things like that. But I'm not huge like that on the movies either. But I watch them, and if I enjoy them, I'm like, oh hell yeah, like I want to watch this. I'll watch it for a second time, third time, and that's when I'm like, this is awesome because how many movies were really standing out this year? For the past 2023. not really much. So, you know, to be able to have something like that before the year ends, I think for me was like, oh man, finally, like we're getting something awesome.
It was Spider-Verse and Barbie.
Dude, I was not. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I was not a huge fan of that. What was it? Edge of whatever the hell it was, the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
I haven't seen any of them yet.
I was not that huge of a you know, like of a fan of it. I know a lot of people were like, oh, you know, because it's Miles. It did not have the same, you know, the same freaking feels that I got when I watched the first movie.
I can see that.
Yeah, I didn't get.
No,
I didn't get that.
Really hoping for Across the Spider-Verse if it came out a few years earlier. I was really kind of hoping they'd do like a Spider-Man the Animated Series universe cameo where I just get to hear Ed Asner to voice J. Jonah one last time.
Yeah. They freaking, it was. I didn't think, I liked the movie, but I didn't think it was, you know, a lot of people were like making it seem like it was better than the first. I was like, nah. So, and that's what something people need to realize. Sequels don't always end up being better than the initial, you know, than the initial first go around.
No, it rarely is.
Yeah. Very, very few and far between that you'll find, you know, a sequel to anything being better than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one didn't, it didn't leave me. Like, you know, when I watched the movie, you know, I watched the bootleg because I said I was like, I'm not gonna go watch it, you know, because of my own freaking, you know, beliefs and things like that. And I was like, I'll watch the bootleg of it. And when I was watching the bootleg, I was like, you know what? I'm glad I didn't go to fucking pay a shit ton of money to take my kids and the wife to go out and watch it. And
I can just imagine what it costs to take a whole family out to go see a movie these days.
Oh, dude, it cost me a good $100. Cost me a good $100. Yep. And then, you know, my kids, everybody's like, yeah, take your own popcorn. I was like, you know, my kids are young. They want to get the experience. Like, yeah, exactly. Daddy, I want.
What little kid is he gonna pay? Amazon, stop.
Yeah. So that's what I thought.
Gonna pass a popcorn stand and be like, "Mommy, Daddy, popcorn, snacks."
Yeah, dude, that's what I said.
You're not gonna be the one parent in the theater gonna be like, gonna cause a temper tantrum. Of course, you're gonna go.
They get the whole, you know, they get the whole experience with the gigantic ass freaking drink that I'm like,
it's as big as the kid is, as big.
As big as my child.
It's as big as your head.
Yeah. And
I do miss the facts when we had to look at the newspaper to look up movie time showings.
Yeah, that, or you used to call movie phone.
Yeah. Or
call a movie phone, and they used to tell you the times and everything.
Or Fandango.com.
Okay, yeah.
Still damn.
I miss movie phone. That was I could just spend 20 back in the day. I could spend 20 minutes just screwing around a movie phone.
It was like the same every time you call. Hello, welcome to movie phone.
Welcome to movie phone.
So I those are the days, man. I mean, but at the same time, though, you know, technology or everything that, you know, that's changed absolutely the dynamics of everything that we used to experience. It's the same thing like I talk about, you know, back in the days when I used to freaking try to get a Playboy or a Hustler or a Penthouse. It was like, you don't get that shit no more because it's free. You just go online and you find it. You don't get that excitement of going to one of the newsstands back in the days of New York, where you used to look at the guy, or it's usually a Middle Eastern guy, and you used to say, you used to want to be like, hey, can I get that Playboy? And then they just look at you and be like, okay, don't tell nobody I sold you this. You know what the feeling was back then? It was like you had this adrenaline rush because you knew you couldn't have this shit. Yeah. But I was 15 years old buying shit like that. And you don't get those experiences anymore, man, because it's just all everywhere.
Or going to the back room of a video store.
Very true. Yep. And they used to put those stupid those fucking bead curtains.
Yep. But with very dimmed lights too.
Yep. Where they used to put like some fucking like red lights and shit. That shit was hilarious. It was fun times, man. You don't get You don't get that shit anymore, man. That's
or those secret back rooms if you've ever been to a Ricky's.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I know. There's many places like that, bro.
Yeah.
There's many places like that.
I'll never forget. I was 16, and my town was a small town, and we had a local mom and pop's video store. So I wasn't thinking anything about it first. So they had another room in the back. I walked in, they're like, "No, you're too young. Get the fuck out of there."
Oh, that shit was fucking hilarious, bro.
Or the way I used to buy my Playboys as a teenager was I used to get like a Mad magazine.
Yeah.
Hide the Playboy in the mat and go up to the counter and just be like, here's the money for 2 magazines. Thank you. Bye. So I took 2 copies of Mad. Keep the change. To a point where eventually one of the clerks is like, I made friends with one of the clerks, and I'm like, he's like, okay, don't let anyone know we're letting you get away with this.
That's all I used to ever hear from the guy. It was a Middle Eastern guy, and he'd fucking every time he see me, he's like, you know the deal. Don't tell nobody where you got this from. And it was like, man, like your first freaking, a drug deal ever in your life or some shit like that. Like that's how it felt. And I was just like, I used to laugh, and now that I think about it, I'm like, yo, the fucking just the easiness, the accessibility that these kids have nowadays to shit like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
One Google search, and if you don't,
oh yeah.
For example, and there is an adult film star by the name of April O'Neil. She took her stage name from the Turtles.
Oh really?
Yeah. So if you just want to type in the character April O'Neil, and you don't have like a filter on, you'll come up half TMNT stuff, half of her stuff. And I was like,
really? I did not know that shit. I never was like, yo, let me go type up April O'Neil, because I'm a big Turtle fan, and I already, I know already enough of April O'Neil that I was like, I don't think there's anything out there for me to, that I don't know.
Yeah, she actually made a
that's super interesting, man.
She made a TMNT porn parody, which was actually pretty decent.
For real, what the hell with the guys is like banging her with a pickle?
Basically, she used animation and puppetry, and had a really good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the hell?
What you're saying is, Adam, in the sequel, you're going to be playing as Ice Cream Kitty.
Shut up. I swear, in about 2 seconds I can ask Carol. There's a way to legally dump you in the Hudson somehow and get away with it.
You're in the Hudson, Jesus! Who knows what the hell is in that river?
Yeah, actually, just so I won't let you die or drown or anything, but I think there's enough toxic pollution in the Hudson for you to
it'll probably wither you away, bro. Like it'll probably eat your skin off.
Become like light.
Are they putting a pool in the middle of the East River now?
Yeah, what do they do?
Yeah, they're putting in a pool, like a big public pool, where it's like filtering out the water from the East River, and I'm like,
God, I don't like public pools as
worse,
it is.
That or the fucking police robot on 42nd Street.
Nah, dude, I'm not a fan of public pools. I'll tell you this all day long, man. I remember going to Astoria Park and going to the Astoria pool back in the days. And this freaking little kid, he probably might have been 6 years old, fucking took a shit right in the water, bro.
Ew!
I never in my life did I ever wanted to go to a fucking public pool after that. I was like, fuck no, never again.
Guaranteed that was the same guy that took a shit at New York Comic Con last year.
Bro.
Hey, Mark, you can confess now, man. I was back in Jersey when that happened, so where were you?
He was like, it was me, damn it. It was me. I'm done hiding. I'm done hiding in the shadow.
No, Adam did. No, I guarantee Adam did a shit at Action Park, and it was like, oh, it's a new ride.
That's a fact. That's a fact, they away. They always said all the bodies of water around New York are acid, but the public tap in New York is amazing. Yes, sir, it is. That is the
AOA, thank you for all
quality
you do
water
for us, man.
What happened?
Everyone, let's just give AOA some flowers. He's the hardest working mod.
Oh yes, man. Shout out to AOA, man. Big time.
I love that guy, and like I said, he's just a great person. So thank you for all you do for us, brother.
Yeah, nah, but it's true, man. There's no water like New York, bro, and that's me. With me living in West Virginia, living in Virginia, living in fucking Pennsylvania now. I'll tell you right now, nothing ever touches New York, bro. Like water wise.
And we have the best pizza.
That too. No, you could have all the people say, New York, Tony's New York pizza, Paulie's New York pizza. Those were all the names I used to see everywhere, and nobody, absolutely nobody. The closest I've got that I've had to New York pizza was this one pizzeria out in Crystal City, Virginia. And they actually bought in jugs of water from New York. Like I'm talking about milk.
That's
jugs.
why.
Yeah, milk jugs of water. And listen, I used to work in a pizzeria when I was younger. This is something people might not know. So I learned how to make pizza. I learned how to do all that shit. I used to try to make pizza at my house. And when I used to live in West Virginia and Virginia, try making it. So it's the fucking water. Like 100%, it is the water, bro. The water, it makes the dough. And every time I made it how I always used to make, how I was taught to make pizza. And never did it ever come out right to the day I went to visit my parents. And I was like, yo, fuck this. I'm going to fill up a jug of fucking New York City tap water, bring it back with me to Virginia, fucking took it, made it, and voila, came out exactly New York pizza. So it's 100% the freaking water, man.
I don't know what's more interesting: people smuggling water to other states, or when people trying to smuggle in cases of cigarettes from down south to New York.
Oh man, the amount of times that people that I know, friends of the family that have bodegas, and how it's like they're like, hey man, listen, can you buy me freaking, go to Costco in Virginia and buy me freaking Newports or buy me Marlboro Lights or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck do you need all this shit for? They're like, don't worry, I'll pay you for it. All right, cool.
It's gonna fall off the back of the truck.
And then the fact,
dude,
like,
it was crazy, man. It's crazy.
The fact there was like fucking raids like over that.
Yeah, big time, because you had the they would try to take off the tax stickers and everything off the freaking cigarettes and all that shit, man. They were trying to find so many ways to do stuff, and I was like, it was fucking crazy. But I did it, and then I started figuring that out because I don't smoke, so I had no fucking idea. And then once I'm like, yo, hold on, I'm over here thinking it's for like your personal consumption, and I was like, no, these motherfuckers are using it for the bodegas and selling it at the bodega. I was like, hell no, I'm not taking part of this shit.
Man, you guys can deal with the feds on your own. Thank you.
Exactly, bro. I was like, nope. I don't want no part in this. I learned
from the Joker. You can commit any other crime you want, but once you fuck with the feds or the feds' money, don't do it.
Oh yeah, it's over.
As a retired police officer, is there any crimes recently that just make you scratch your head, or the rise in subway crime or anything like that in New York?
To be honest with you, what makes me scratch my head is just the amount of crime that there is now, period. Like, I mean, I'm talking about broad daylight.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of crime that you are seeing in broad daylight, the crime that's being committed by a lot of the migrants right now is just like head scratching to me. Right now, I've been hearing a lot of things where like a lot of these migrants will come knocking at people's doors, begging for food and money. And what they would do is, as soon as you open up the door to them, they would freaking, do a home invasion. And that's something that's becoming super common in the Bronx. And now they're telling people to be careful, like opening up your door to people, because that's literally what they're doing. They come pretend that they're, that they're trying to get food. and all they're doing is trying to break into your home and freaking pretty much rob you blind of everything. So, but yeah, majority of it is these fucking just like daytime crimes, dude. Like, I mean, things that you see in movies that I was like, holy shit, like I never thought things like this would ever happen. And you're seeing it, man. Like I'm watching videos consistently, you know, and I'm not talking about videos that are like the same shit that happened 2 weeks ago. No, it's like something new always, just repeatedly. And I'm just like, yo, this is fucking insane.
I mean, this is the worst I've seen it. And like I said, I just recently turned 50. I don't remember New York being this bad since Mayor Dinkins.
Yeah, my dad was here. You know, he was in New York during the 70s and 80s. And I remember the Son of Sam, all that shit. And I remember my dad used to tell me, he was like, yeah, this is even worse than the times he remembers where you used to have to walk at night. You used to have to walk on the street. You couldn't walk on a sidewalk because if you were walking on the sidewalk, somebody was gonna fucking snatch you up and fucking rob you or kill your ass. And that's what my dad said. He was like, now he's like, man, I honestly feel like it's even worse than that.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. And this is coming from my dad, man. I was just like, I'm there like, yo, I was like, it's so hard to believe that it's become that bad. And he was like, no, he's like, now, he's like, they'll just fucking rob you in broad daylight in front of any. And what are the cops doing? They tied their hands up. So what can the cops do? They can't do shit. So I was like, exactly. I was like, but hopefully all of that shit comes to a change, man. What's the purpose of being a law-abiding citizen at this point? Like that's how I look at life. It's like there's no purpose to it because they're letting everybody get away with absolutely everything.
At that point, it's just like I guess when I subscribe to through the grace of God, treat others the way you want to be treated, and hope and have faith that the best is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah, you still have to have a positive outlook on a lot of that stuff too, man, because it's like I said, in the end, you can't walk around in life feeling like every bad thing is going to happen or every negative thing is going to happen. You gotta also look at the positive side of things, and you can't show that you're scared, man. You can't allow people to freaking become a damn just freaking in the house all day long and not bound to your house at all times. You gotta continue to live life.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And maybe one day I'll remember that the subway is a good form of transportation again. But
even that's gotten worse than what it used to be. Like,
I haven't rode the subway since the last time I was on a subway in New York was the day before the world shut down.
Yeah, like AOA was talking, there was always tons of crime, but now they have cameras. Yo, listen, man, like, no, crime is not as bad as it used to be, bro. Like, it was more they were, people were very hesitant to commit crimes because it was like they knew what the consequences are. But when you lighten up on the consequences, then you're gonna freely do whatever the hell you want. I mean, look at California. I've never been to Cali, but damn, man, like all the shit that I see constantly coming out of Cali, and I'm talking about not through the news, talking about like videos that I see on social media where like people are just fucking running into shops, grabbing, snatch and run, and running the hell. Not even running, man. Literally walking. Nobody stops them. Nobody does anything, and it starts to make you wonder, like, honestly, like what the hell is the point of being a good citizen? Absolutely nothing. And you just see it. It's happening everywhere, man. It's like it's become so prevalent now that again, that's why people are doing what they want to do, because there isn't no consequences. For me, I knew the consequences if I ever decided to do anything stupid back in the days. And as a cop, seeing all this stuff that I saw, 11 years of my career, like it makes me even think, I'm like, fuck, like who the fuck was like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. Think what, I tell people, think what you might want to think. But for me, that's one of the reasons, ever since I was a cop, that's one of the reasons I stopped believing the news, because the news is just straight up just hot garbage and just a shit ton of fucking misinformation, bro. Like none of it is real.
And it's horrible watching the news is the worst thing for your mental health.
Oh, hell no, bro. I refuse to start my day off watching any of that shit or watching any negative crap. I don't. Stay the fuck away from all of it, man.
I think the only news I actually focus on is what's on the Citizen app.
Yeah, like I honestly, you get better fucking news and real time news from like my Ring app when I'm seeing like people in the Ring on the Ring neighborhood shit, and they're telling you like, yo, there was a shooting because they actually have it on the camera, and I'm watching it. It's like, holy shit, like 3 miles from me there was a shooting, and you see them just unloading in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, shit. Well, I'm in a good place because I know I could freaking carry my damn firearm if any shit, goes down. It's a different animal now. It's definitely a different freaking animal now.
Yeah, that it is. So you said you're on a Looney Tune binge, eh?
Yeah, big time, man, big time. I'm on a Looney Tune binge, trying to find a lot of the Looney Tune run through DC right now. A lot of those, those later issues, those are hard to freaking come by.
They're beasts.
I got gold. Yeah. That helps.
What happened?
I have gold keys. That helps.
Oh, yeah. I have some of those too. But the main ones right now that I'm focusing on is the DC run that they had, and a lot of those, like after, I think it's like after issue 20, around that area. Like it starts to get super hard to try to find books, man, when it comes to Looney Tunes.
And finding them in nice shape too is always a challenge.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Like I've found some beat up freaking Looney Tune comics, but you know what? Even then, I'll still pick them up because I'm like, hey, I just found issue 26. I gotta pick it up, even though it's a little beat up. It becomes super freaking hard to find. So I'm like, fuck that. I was like, I'll take it because I don't know when the hell's the next time I'm gonna come across it. Even when I've gone to local shows, even the dealers there, like Looney Tunes, they were like, you're the first person that ever asked me for these Looney Tune comic books. They were like, I don't even think we have any. And they're like, check on the L. And I'm there looking through. They don't have nothing. So now I start to wonder. I'm like, man, I'm about to start running numbers on Comic-Con and going to check to see exactly what the print count is on some of these Looney Tune books. And it has to be low, bro. Has to be low. Has to be
basically, low. If anyone can help me get on DVD all the episodes from the classic run, I would really appreciate it.
Because for the Looney Tunes?
Yeah, for the Max sucks with it. YouTube sucks with it. I'm getting this binge of the old classic Looney Tune cartoons. Yeah, and
I know some of those Looney Tune stuff they discontinued because it was everybody was like, hey, it's a lot of racist stuff, which it does, man. It played during the times. From the 40s, 50s, everything, like you saw that. That's how life was. I mean, it's history, but at the same time, that's one of the reasons why they discontinued a lot. And you do find those episodes on YouTube. Like I do find a lot of those episodes that everybody was like, holy crap. Like you would see some of the most racist shit. And I was like,
I saw like one or two of the infamous Censored 11.
Yeah.
There's one episode, I forget the title of it. It's Bugs Bunny versus the Japanese in World War II.
Oh, yeah. You can still see that. It's on freaking YouTube. I've seen that one.
Just like, if this came out today, people would be shitting in
Oh, hell yeah. They would. I mean, look at Pepe Le Pew. He got fucking canceled when they were coming out with Space Jam with fucking LeBron James.
Starfire book that had Pepe Le Pew on the cover and people lost their shit over it?
Oh, yes. Yep.
$75 book for 2 minutes.
Yep. And I don't forget about that one because I have that book.
I found 5 copies at the Midtown outlet for $1 each.
Nice.
And it was 50-cent day.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing with comics, man. And then it's like you like what you hear Calamity talking about. He's how he's like, I found those for 50 cents. It just goes to show you why, like, I start to bring in that word gamble versus an investment. It's not, you don't know exactly, like, right now, this is why I said, I was like, I'm on my Looney Tune binge and I'm looking for these, freaking issues, with the teens going on in. And even then I was like, can we honestly go ahead and say, that this really does have a low print run? I can't really sit on that Because who the hell knows? Maybe somebody starts to find shit in the West Coast and they start saying, "Oh, I saw Keep It Thorough talking about issue 26. Look, I found 10 of these." Now I start to question, and I'm like, is this really low print? You know, and that's where the whole like gamble portion of things starts to come out, because
there may be someone who has like 40 copies of it in the warehouse somewhere in the Midwest.
Oh,
exactly.
Speaking of quote unquote low print run books, everybody knows about the Spawn 306 NetherRealm variant.
Yeah, the NetherRealm. Yep.
So this dude at New York Comic Con last year went to like nearly every dealer trying to sell, and he had like 30 fucking copies in his bag. And I'm like, dude, I know it's you on eBay flooding the market with these, and then you're trying to get like God, like $350 a book. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
But there's more. There's more copies coming out. There's more fucking people coming out. Look at, I mean, you go on eBay and you start to see the flood stream on eBay for those 306 NetherRealm. When I first remember, they were all like, everybody was like, "Oh, I'm the only person that owns this." Then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, there's 5 copies in total. There's 10 copies total, 15," and then the number just kept growing. Yeah, that's what the gamble portion of comic books. I love it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you take a gamble, you know, and it is what it is. If it's truly something that you want, then you're going to be willing to pay the price.
Speaking of books that I would consider investment versus gamble.
Yeah.
This is like the first exclusive that was in my box. This, let's just say it's a fucking gamble.
Yeah.
Versus this, where it's a fucking more an investment.
Gotcha.
At the end of the day, I would rather buy a silver Bronze Age key any day over a new exclusive. What the fuck?
Yeah, but even then, here's what I'm gonna give you a rebuttal in reference to that, and this is why. So one of the reasons why I started to get off of the investment train is because even with like Silver Age and Golden Age things, all that shit gets manipulated. Yeah. And the reason why I started to come down to terms with that was because of the times that I've had people that I personally know who have dealt with Heritage, to include myself when I tried making purchases from Heritage. You start to look at how everything is being done. You could see the manipulation factor just by going on Heritage itself. And when you start to see that happening on Heritage, then you start to also know that, hey, there's a reason why they're running a said book at this very moment, because now they're trying to up the price. So then they know that the rest of the copies that exist are going to freaking follow suit. And that's where I said everything is a gamble, because just like that, you do have some of these books that come back down to earth, because it also has to deal with the economy. The economy starts to fluctuate. And as soon as people are not really dishing out money for these collectibles, then everybody's like, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of this comic and I'm just gonna sell it for, you know, instead of the freaking, you know, 1 million, we'll lower it down to 750,000. So that's why I call it a gamble, because, you know, to go down from 1 million to 750,000, bro, that's a big chunk of change. That's a house for anybody. So that's the reason why I say that. And I just don't, I'm not, you know, and for me, the trust part comes from being a cop, doing the investigations that I've had to deal with, you know, with people dealing with money and things like that, comes into play with this hobby. And when it comes into play with this hobby, you start to freaking see just how crazy the manipulation is within every aspect. And I mean, it doesn't just go from just Heritage, but it also goes through CGC, goes through CBCS, goes through Go Collect, goes through all these different avenues. And as much as they want to say, oh, no, that's not what we do. Yes, you do. Why do you guys do a top 10 list? Why do you guys do all these different things? You know, as far as like freaking Go Collect, there's a lot of different lists that people make. It's because you're trying to sort of induce the, you know, the freaking investment. And anytime somebody shows things, it's usually because you got your foot into something already, that you're like, you know what, I want to make a movement on this. I want to try to do something. And you do have the legit people who are like, yeah, you know, like, for example, with Ben Stein, you know, shout out to Ben Stein. I've always said it, you know, that guy has never told anybody, oh, you got to buy this, you got to do this, or ever forced anything down anybody's throat.
No. Shout out to everyone on the Beyond Wednesdays crew. But I almost spent $100 on something stupid. It's all Beyond Wednesday's fault. They didn't say I had to buy it, but they had to wave the arc from Hooker convention pamphlet from 1975 in my face.
Yeah.
You know, like look at this. Just like, you know, it's like, you motherfuckers. But no,
there is always something that you see that you like, and at that point, you know, I don't ever see a problem with it, because if it's something that you truly like, you're gonna fucking dish out the money for it. It's like me. There have been times, I remember, who the hell, there was a Looney Tune book that I found at one shop. They had it up on the wall. It had Marvin the Martian on it. Could not find that fucking book for the life of me. They were still kind enough to give me a deal, because on eBay, the fucking book was going for $75 all day long. And they were just like, you know what? They were like, they saw me with my Marvin the Martian hat. I just happened to wear it. And he was like, oh, he's like, you like Marvin? He's like, never mind. He saw my hat. And he was like, you know what? He's like, you look like you're a big fan. And I told him, I was like, dude, I've been looking for this. They gave it to me for $30. $30. They had it up there on the wall for $65. $10 less than what it was going for on eBay.
Was it the cover with Marvin the homaging Green Lantern 49? Yep. Oh, I love that cover.
Yeah, and that's what I said. That book is not easy to come by. And when I saw it, I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm willing to pay it. I was like, if the condition is right on it, I'm willing to pay it. If not, I'm gonna have to haggle with them and say, hey, like, you know, I don't think the condition is that great. Can you guys lower it? No, but they were kind enough, and they were like, oh, you know, you can have it for $30. It's been sitting up there on the wall. And I'm like, holy shit, how is that possible? And I got lucky, man. And they gave it to me for $30 instead of $65. And I said, yo, I appreciate you a ton. That I even went back and I bought some more stuff from the guys for doing that for me.
And that's a good shop. That's a shop that, you know, values their customers and wants to make new customers. And
exactly.
I don't know. Just as I you know, as much as I think the publishers are trying to get rid of the direct market, I think we do enough stupid bullshit to be our worst enemy at the same time too.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
It's like
100%.
Amazon, stop. Amazon, shut up.
Well, this is like the one time that Amazon is actually listening to you, because
I know it's no, actually I put the speaker part of it in a spot where it hears me now. That's what the problem was.
Oh damn, okay.
But you know, that's like, for example, any shop that's disorganized, and I bring my stack of books up to the counter. They go, we have to check eBay. I'm like, here's your books. Suck a bag of dicks. Bye.
Oh, I never go back to. That's why I told people, I was like, if somebody puts up a sign at their shop and it says you are subject to eBay checks at the counter, I'm like, yo, thank you. I walk right the fuck out. I don't even waste my time, dude. I won't even look at your wall books. I won't look at absolutely nothing. That sign right there in itself is telling me you just help me not to waste my time, and I just move on to somewhere else. And it's happened before. I hate the ones where it's like I'm there digging through stuff, find all these awesome comic books, and all of a sudden take it to the counter, and they're like, oh, this is going to be a while. And I'm like, what? Prices are on there. How's it going to be a while? And I was like, well, we got to check eBay. You know, everything changes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Is this a place that already has the stickers on them, and they just don't do their own research to follow the market?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, I am not a fan of places like that, bro. I fucking cannot stand it. Stand it.
Price my shit before I do whatever, because even like the books I don't have individually priced, I have it in a box that says like 4, 3 for $10 or $1, where it's like we're all already priced.
And that's how it should be, bro. Like, I mean, but not everybody's gonna do their homework. Like, for example, you do. You know, there's people that I know. I've seen a lot of comic shops. You go into the comic shops and there's books that they'll still be saying $50, and the book is not even worth $5 anymore. You know what I mean? They don't change prices, but I despise places. I've never been back to those places, and it's happened to me several times, man. Where they were like, "Oh yeah, you know, we're checking eBay." I'm like, fucking eBay. I was like, well, then what the fuck do you have a price tag on these fucking things for? And why do you have it in your dollar bin? Or why do you have it, in your quarter bin, so on and so forth? It drives me friggin' insane.
Yes,
yeah. I mean, sometimes I don't fully update prices on certain books just because I have so much inventory.
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy.
But if there's like a dude that says like, if I have a book slightly overpriced and he shows me the recent sold on eBay, it's like, yeah, I'll honor it because.
Yeah, and that's good business, bro. Like, there's people that I know I've done that to, and I said, I'm like, yo, like this shit is going for fucking $10. You got a $50. Oh well, that's the price on there. Okay, have a nice day. I fucking but what's the last store that did that shit to me? What I did? They were like, I was like, they hit me with the okay, I'm gonna check eBay, and I had a big ass stack of books. And next thing you know, I was like, can you do me a favor? I was like, can I see some of those books? Because I might be changing my mind about what I want. Took them all back, fucking walked around their store, start putting everything back in all different fucking places. And I was like, now you could go do your homework. That was my last fucking place that I ever went to. And I was like, fuck that shit, bro.
That's awesome.
Actually, there is one dealer I still deal with that checks eBay first. But how he does it, it's stuff I can't say no to because he charges me like 20% of final market on eBay. And I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, I can't say no to that.
Yeah, I deal with the same guy, and he's always hooked me up with stuff. So I was like, okay, just check. Have fun on your computer. Just let me drink my soda. Let me know when you're done. Bye.
Actually, I gotta tell you the craziest pickup I got on Sunday, which Adam, I already told you, which was an ASM 238 with tattoos for $50. I was like,
oh really?
Like what?
That's fucking awesome, bro.
He already flipped it. He already sold it.
Really?
Yeah, I got $2.25 for it.
Oh damn, nice, bro.
I was thinking, should I get it graded? And I was
like this is what I found this the other day.
Oh god, that's an awesome cover.
What is he got up?
It's the Turtle Adventures.
Ninja Turtles Adventures issue 49.
The cover where Donnie is getting
Donatello and he's surrounded by aliens.
Oh, yeah, that is a great book.
I was actually thinking that the casting couch.
Yeah, I found that the other day, and like with all the alien stuff, and I've always been looking for that book because that book's not an easy book to find.
No.
It's a later print run, low print run on that book. But yeah, when I found that and I found it for $5, I was like, oh hell no! I was like, I'm taking this. And the crazy part is, I bring it home, and my daughter, she loves the Ninja Turtles, and Donatello's her favorite because she loves purple. She freaking saw that book and she's like, Daddy, that's mine. And I was like, I just put my head down and I was like, yeah, it's yours. And then that's my daughter's book now.
No, that's
not
awesome.
Even mine. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hopefully when my nephew, who's now 3, becomes 4 or 5,
yeah,
and I don't have a fear of him ripping books anymore. Get him into reading Spider-Man comics because he loves Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I made the mistake of buying him one of the web shooters that shoot water.
Oh my god, bro! My daughters have that.
He's just like, shower.
They got the
web you.
They got the Spider-Gwen web shooter, but it comes with those freaking missiles, those web missiles. They fucking one of my little one, my 3-year-old. They both love Spider-Gwen. I bought them the mask and everything. Freaking cool little getup that they ended up getting. And I ended up finding it on the Disney store. For some odd reason, I was like, Disney sent me a sale or whatever the hell was going on. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, this toy, what? $20? I was like, I'm going to get it for my girls. That shit was normally like $50. The mask and everything with the shooters, it was like fucking almost, like $60, something like that. I was like, $20. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll buy it. So it came in that very day, man. My daughter goes and does it. And she goes, look, mommy. And freaking shoots my wife with one of those missiles right in her eyeball.
Oh, no.
I was like, dude, I was like, oh, my God. I was like, yo, these kids, my daughter was like, she just froze. She was like, I didn't mean to. And I was like, no. I was like, it's not your fault. I was like, oh my god, dude! And those things are freaking like rocks.
Yeah.
Those, it's not fun getting hit by those.
Nah, hell no. It reminded me of, you guys remember the pizza shooter?
Yeah.
Back in the days of Ninja Turtles.
The one that shot the little plastic discs.
So you remember that thing, they were doing recalls on that toy because of how hard it would project, shoot the projectile out the pizza. And I remember I hit my mom with that shit, man. Right in her fucking eye, yo. Holy crap, man. My mom would like grab me as I was running away, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, and I didn't even intend to do that, man. That just happened by accident because
just the way those things
it was so sensitive. Yeah, not only that, but it was so sensitive that you like barely even touched it, and that fucking shit went and just go flying right the hell out, man.
Speaking of Disney, I can't believe Disney tried to full-on copyright strike a guy for reposting Steamboat Willie.
You serious?
Yeah. As soon as it got off the public domain, some guy reposted Steamboat Willie in its entirety, and then Disney tried to go full-on copyright strike on him. And like,
fucking
it's
idiots.
Public domain.
Yeah, exactly.
Disney, I don't envy Disney lawyers at that right now. Yeah, because
that's because they have no money.
Speaking of other YouTube stuff, you heard about the quote unquote controversy now?
No, what controversy now?
They're slowing everyone's computer who uses ad blockers.
Oh, that shit, that's so fucking stupid, man. It's everything, man. I go onto any website or I go to like any comic book related website, and now they're all fucking like, if you use an ad blocker because they're losing revenue, they're not gonna allow you to continue to check the site out. I was like, man, suck a dick. Yeah. I was like, I don't need to go on here. I'll find it somewhere else. I can't stand that, man. So that doesn't surprise me at all. Does not surprise me at all.
There's one comic book website in particular who I now refuse to go on because the amount of ads on it. Like reading that with a text reader.
Yeah.
Is a nightmare. Melithil, your website blows. Yeah, Ben C, you cocksucking fuck. You thief. You good for nothing rap bastard. Your website used to be cool. I used to be able to like do some like, but it sucks monkey balls, just like you. I said it.
Speaking of Mellow Fellow, I did used to buy from him on Whatnot before I knew any of the crazy shit regarding him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I don't fuck with him anymore.
Yeah, nice. I guess like I was on the website the other day reading the one article I still like going to read there. Shout out to Topher for True Firsts. I still like reading the article because I find it fascinating. But the amount of ads I had to shift through was just annoying as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like everywhere now, man. Like no matter where the hell you go on, every website it hits you with that. Like I know I always would go onto like CBR.com. So CBR would always hit you with that stupid shit. You go into one of their articles and they're like, "Oh, if you're using an ad blocker, turn it off so that you can continue on with the site." It's like, bro, come on, man.
I know people give Bleeding Cool a lot of shit, but it's actually one of my favorite comic book news sites to go to.
Yeah, they put out good stuff on there. Here and there, they put out some dumb shit. But for the most part, I always see something that is like a benefit to read and go and scroll through.
Yeah. Even though they made me want to buy nerd food that I shouldn't be buying a couple times in the last 2 months, but what the heck?
What the hell was that?
Basically, like G Fuel put out a series of Dragon Ball Z themed.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And thanks to them, I had to go buy a couple 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew Ahve Blast, which I never would have known they were putting out outside of Taco Bell, but they didn't read Bleeding Cool in their pop culture section.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like whenever Yeah, Kellogg's puts out like a specialized version of something, or Oreos decides, ooh, we're gonna make Batman themed Oreos. Bleeding Cool is the place that normally covers that type of crap.
Yeah, they do, because they were covering all the cereal boxes, all this shit that was coming out at one point.
God, anybody remember the Pokemon cereals that came out a few years ago, where grown-ass men lost their mind and tried to scalp them?
Oh, dude, that shit was fucking... That was a hot mess.
That, and people were trying to scalp Girl Scout cookies. I'm like, Jesus. Like, no!
Yeah, didn't you tell me about that last year when I was buying Girl Scout cookies for my niece?
Yeah, it was like
new flavor you want to know about Gap because they were going for mad money on eBay.
Yeah, it was like chocolate strawberry or something. No, that and like what was another crazy food related item that was stupid money? Oh, old like Aunt Jemima stuff.
Well, that's when they canceled Aunt Jemima. My mom still has a box somewhere, and I'm like, are you ever gonna throw this out? And she says, no, it's gonna be worth money. It's gonna be worth more money one day. Like, it's a part of it. I gotta argue with my mom. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
So about
as long as it stays in the pantry and it never gets mistaken for anything. Speaking for someone who's gonna crack open a 40-cent bottle of Joke Cola on his 800th episode and his 9-year anniversary.
Oh my God, are you actually doing that?
I buy myself a big puke bucket. I'm already making steps to, and now I'm going to send it to the people that own the recipe of Joe Call and be like, bring it back.
You know what? I dare you to also put that on like your OnlyFans.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Make that money. Do that. For sale.
AKN, if anyone can help me figure out if Melinda Young has an OnlyFans, I'll pay like Jabba the Hutt paying Boba Fett. I am paying a bounty on
that. Wait. Speaking of people on the whatnots, am I allowed to? I want to put out an open bounty.
Yeah, for what?
If anyone goes records a certain lollipop man at MegaCon and shows him getting his ass beat, I will donate a considerable reward. A substantial reward for anyone posting that.
What, isn't the Lollipop Guild going to beat them up for past dues?
No, that's an insult to the Lollipop Guild. They have nothing to do with it.
No, but he's been representing himself as a member of the Lollipop Guild without their permission.
No, you're thinking of the bootleg Cars for Kids.
No. No car. Come
on, it's a you know what this show is. You know about Cars for Kids.
Thuro's probably never watched an episode of Awesome Sauce Radio. And if he has, I said thank you, but I have a hatred of the Cars for Kids jingle. To the point where listening to it gives me like PSMD.
Fucking 1-800 Cars for Kids.
I play it at every show.
Yeah. I freaking trust me. After a while, that shit got fucking. It does get annoying, man. That shit does get annoying.
Is that, and I've also shown Adam the horrors of the Catalina collection.
Oh, really?
Just don't ask.
So I played a jingle, the Demolition Daddy.
Oh my God!
You got flagged for that, which I didn't even know about because I thought that was like public domain.
Yeah.
But you got flagged.
Weird lately with what it flags me for.
That shit. Listen, man. I told people last night. I was like, I appreciate the members of the channel because I was like, yo, I don't know when I get monetized and when I get demonetized. Majority of the time I get demonetized. And then somebody fucking wrote yesterday, it was hilarious because they were like, oh, it was Keith playing some cover tunes. It's like, hey, Thuro, I think that the reason you got demonetized on your last video was because you mentioned something about somebody, a said person, committing fellatio to, on CGC. And I was like, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I did. So then Red Hood comes on And Red Hood comes on, and he fucking had me dying laughing because he's like, yeah, that's because people need to stop sucking CGC's dick. And I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, here we go.
He came on the show last night.
Tell that to Jay-Z because he's been giving CGC money.
Oh my god, man. Oh, dude, it's like I tell people, man, do what your heart desires, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what you enjoy, do it. Don't fucking let anybody tell you otherwise. Because I know there's some people that get upset and they're like, can we stop talking about all this CGC drama and all this, that? And I was like, nah. I was like, there's a lot of shit that needs to get addressed because now finally you had Matt Nelson come out and talk. And I just had to make a point that it was like, yo, the lies just fucking continue. It doesn't fucking stop. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I just laugh at. And it's also too, the ones that come out talking about these things are usually the ones that have invested so much money into graded books that now they're like, fuck, they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Because now, not only that, but you also get the introduction of the 9.9s, pre-screening 9.9. So since we're on here with you guys, I want to hear from you guys. What is your take on that 9.9 pre-screen?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep. That's what Matt Nelson just mentioned, bro.
I didn't even see the video yet.
Yep.
Now, he went into the 9.9 thing and a lot of detail, and this scares me. Hey, that means that all my 9.8s are pretty much worthless. And now it means this is a new thing that's going to be manipulated and scammed and butt fucked to Kingdom Come. So if I heard Mr. Nelson correctly, so I can have a spine tick or two on my book, and it's still going to be a 9.9.
Yep, you can have one spine tick.
That's one?
One spine tick, yeah. One spine tick, and you can have a 9.9.
Oh, my God.
I gotta stop eating, candy bars and then listening to people's shows on a sugar high.
You know what's crazy? I actually gotten a 9.9 once, but this was back in 2020.
Yeah.
Where I pre-screened it myself, and I was like, it could have a 9.9 because of how sharp that spine is, because it didn't have that normal scuffing when it's off the printer. I was like, oh my God, the top spine. I was like, I know I'm going to get a 9.8 on it, but if it comes back a 9.9, I'm going to fucking lose it. And I got a 9.9. It was a Dark Knight's Death Metal #2.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, how the hell did this come back a 9.9?
Nah, that's it. I wouldn't say that the value of your 9.8s is going to go to complete shits. It's just going to fucking lower it beyond what and this is why I told people, I was like, I would stop. I would fucking keep myself from buying anything graded right now. Because if that 9.9 comes out, why would you spend $250 on a 9.8, right? That can potentially turn out to fucking be, $75 down the road because of the 9.9s coming out. So that's the reason why I tell people to be careful. Like AOA said that the 9.9 pre-screen sounds like free money. 100 fucking percent, bro. 100%, because they can reject you. Out of the 10 books that you submit, they can reject you 9 times, but you'll still be happy because you got a 9.9, at least on one of your submissions, on one of your pre-screens.
See, I don't use CGC all that often. I use CBCS, and most of the time I use CBCS. It's not for any vintage books. It's because I'm getting an autograph verified.
Yeah, and that's normally like what I'm seeing with a lot of people. A lot of people are like, hey, I'm getting this, this signature verified, or I'm getting this signature witnessed, and 100% understand that. But at the same time, it's like I look at all this shit, man, and even that has become a corruption. Even that has become corrupted. Like you just look at everything, the ties between fucking Epic and Albert being a freaking witness. And this dude, and then this dude, even Javon Jordan coming on and saying like, hey, this dude has forged my signature on comics, and this dude Albert is there freaking passing them off as legit. I mean, doesn't that ring an alarm to anybody? That's major shit. Who else to say that nobody else out there is doing the same thing? You know how many people I used to know from back in the early 2000s when they used to start having the witnesses and everything like that?
Yeah.
And they were doing all that crap. How many of them would grab books from somebody that was already signed? How do you even know that that wasn't forged? And then they go on and say, "Oh yeah, I witnessed this at this con," and
they
submitted
still
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen it happen a few times.
It's
even worse when you're doing like non-comic book autograph memorabilia from like celebrities. If you're buying autograph stuff on eBay, be careful. Like I'm gonna say at least 30 to 40% of them are fake.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're buying 8x10s.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one guy who I dealt with. I got Mark a birthday, a Christmas gift, but the guys there, I said, these are reprint autographs.
Yeah.
They came so nice. I was like, yeah, these are pretty decent. And like, it's not like $8 was gonna break me at that point.
Yeah, because that's what I try to tell people too. Like, I'm not the only one that has witnessed this, that has witnessed this crap going on. This has been something that has been going on for a long ass time. And it's like, well, that's something that I wish that would have been asked to Matt Nelson the other night. Like, what are you guys doing in reference to this signature witnessing? As far as people like pretty much committing fraud when it comes to witnessing things. And I would love to know how they're planning on doing a stop. For me personally, the only way to stop that is by doing in-house signatures. In-house signings.
Here's my speculation on it, and I've talked to other CGC dealers with this.
Yeah.
They might just end the facilitation thing entirely and allow certain people who are grandfathered in to keep doing it.
Yeah, that's true. But then here's the other thing, though. How many times, on how many countless occasions have you had facilitators fucking charging out the wazoo to anybody just because you're doing that for them, and then you're upping the prices of what it, compared to what it normally costs CGC to do things? I was like, come on, man. Like that to me is a little, I get it if you're providing a service, but if you signed up to become a facilitator and you're doing that, then I mean, that shouldn't be coming in as an added cost.
Which it does, and depending on what you're getting witnessed and signed, for example, my good friends over Twin City Comics and Celebrity Authentics, when they're doing something like what the Hugh Jackman signing, there's an extra fee in there for them handling everything. So it's just like. But then again, the facilitation jacks up the price of the autograph in general. Before and afterwards, because then you're also got to throw in your grading fees.
Yeah.
And the cost for the signature from that said person.
Yeah, whoever it is.
Mm-hmm. No, but there's just a lot of freaking questions that remain unanswered. A lot of people are including myself. I would love to know, man. I'd honestly, these questions that that are really relevant to a lot of things that have been happening. All that, it's like it's the same thing with who's the what is that, Heroes Restoration?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, with them too, like, with them doing the restorations and doing all that stuff where it's almost like you can't even tell it's restoration. Like, that's also another great topic to be bringing up as well. So how can you truly, if you have a tough time, being able to tell, 90% of dealers have a tough time being able to tell restoration on a comic book. What sets you apart from the average Joe out there as far as being able to tell, when there's resto on a book?
Oh yeah.
I think regarding like quote unquote picking up like already signed books, with it being witnessing, like the only quote unquote exception is if you bring a witness to like I'll say J. Scott Campbell's table or Alex Ross, where they have signed books and you just have the witness bring you with you and you pick it up there. Because they're not there, but it's their table, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's like the only gray area exception regarding that.
Yeah, very true, man.
Like I said, me, I do a lot of celebrity sign stuff. Both for myself as a fan and because I do have a clientele for it.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a lot of people who can't afford to go to these shows. They want something signed by Rob Paulson and Maurice March. Because they love Pinky and the Brain. It's like, okay, for an extra X, I'm usually like an extra $20-$30. Because it's one friend of mine who I will charge to making me wait in line like that for 3 hours. Boom. I want to make sure they're getting the best. Their hard-earned money is getting them what they wanted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to my charger.
All right. We're pretty much. Thuro, where can my audience? Where can the a.s.s family find you online?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on YouTube at Keep It Thuro Comics. You can also find me on Instagram at Keep It Thuro _ for every space to include the end. Other than that,
to figure that out.
Yeah,
I said followed by Roadhead. I said that's the right one.
Yeah, man. Other than that, man, you know, it's been a pleasure, and you know, and an honor to be on here, man. I appreciate you inviting me on here, and you know, looking forward to see what else you got in store, brother, man. I mean, there's so much.
I do have a couple of interviews, and then I am gonna get back on Whatnot, and I do have a plan that should have me kicked off of Whatnot by March.
Oh, no, okay.
Since they got Bali stay on there, and the guy who was brandishing a gun is still on there, and it's so difficult to kick off the Whatnot. I'm gonna
crazy.
I'm going to talk to my friends over at either Sapphires or Flash Dancers. I mean, give me your best girl. I'm gonna put her on the Harley Quinn costume, sell some comics, and get some lap dances. And dear Jack DeMeo, yay or nay? And they'll probably kick me off and let other people who flash their titties and sell titty books stay on because I'm the fucking bad guy.
No, you know it's a perfect way to get kicked off of Whatnot, Adam. Just have just have a chick from Sapphires cosplay as Plucky and just have her to suck a lolly.
I'll pass on that. That's a. But Mark, where can the audience find you, my brother?
eBay Calamity _ collectibles spelled with an A because it used to piss Adam off and I loved it. Calamity _ collectibles on Instagram. I will be doing Queen's comic parties again in the near future. Right now, I'm currently on a hiatus from doing shows. So until June, I will be most likely just be doing online stuff and street vending right near Sloan Kettering.
Yep, and
when the weather gets warm, because I'm not doing it in the winter. Hell no.
Yeah, no. At least in the next couple of days, you want to stay indoors, bro.
No, I'm gonna street vend in the snow, man. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking show out some books. Hopefully, everything gets.
Don't you like making those lemon snow cones, bro? I heard about you.
Oh. Says the guy that I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say something with a snow dog in it, but I lost the mind about it.
All right. But everyone, of course, eBay /blindadam, Twitter /X at the comic pimp, Whatnot, comic pimp VIP coming back soon, minivid /blindadam, Instagram, I'm the real Blind Adam, and I have some other things coming in the works. Remember, we don't need set to have a vision. I love you all. Blind Adam out.
And don't forget to donate your card today.
No.
So more out, mute, mic, stop, cam, button, vision, present, button, mic, guest, show, but having this show.
We have fun on here.
Show, comment,
of course, man. Yeah, I had a great time.
Show, comment, star, comment, star, comment, star,
Big shout out to everybody that was here too, man, in the chat. Big shout out to the chat.
Button, edit lips, awesome sauce, cancel, button, restart.
Thank you for coming in, Jason. We sorry for not responding to you now until now, but
solo layout, thin layout, group layout, leader, show more, edit layout, new layout, remove, solo lip, mute, one more out, remove, thuro, solo layout, mute, thuro, ten more out, remove, calamity, solo lip, mute, more out, mute, stop, vision, cameras, present, button, invite guests, leave, studio, button, having issues, show, comment, action, comment, start, show,
Give me a minute.
I feel like we're gonna get a beat started right now.
Edit rib screen, awesome sauce, cancel button, button, pause button, end screen button,
There we go.
enter, dialogue, to act, not yet, but end screen, enter.